recording is starting. Alrighty. What a fucking way to intro it.
You know. Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Like and subscribe and click that.
Gets demonetized for gun sounds
Hi,
in the first 10
guys.
seconds.
Hi guys, welcome to our D&D stream. Today we've got a Heckler and Koch G3.
Heckler and Coke, you uncultured swine.
It goes with the intro, bitch!
I'm the fuck here on Forgotten Somethings.
I don't think that's rather kosher.
Yeah, it's not at all. It's blasphemous as shit. Alrighty.
It's the resident Jewish person here. I give you permission.
You're not Jewish. We are short one person.
He has the nose.
For the. I'm sure he does. We are short one person who will be joining us a little bit late into the session, but this will be kicking off our sort of intro, our session 0, our familiarization with Roll20, and with how these things work and kind of a general flow for the campaign. So, kind of a recap here for those of you who will be watching, that some of you returning may actually be familiar with this world, or at least some of the lore established as of yet. And, of course, for the players here, this goes back to our world, 1864. Civil War's cooking off, various countries are starting revolutions and ideology shifts and changes. And without going too hard into it, a particularly jaded and angry group of natives looking for revenge, a specific 11 members of a tribe, forgotten and unknown, decided to strike back one last time, sacrificing themselves to cause a ritual that would essentially rip down and tear apart the veil and mechanizations and curtains between realms and realities and existences and pantheons, opening up our world at the height of the Civil War to every cryptid, every belief, every religion, every practice and empowerment, every pantheon, both fantastical, magical, and historical. You can imagine this caused quite a ruckus and turned pretty much everything on its head, including causing the American Civil War to go much longer than intended, causing many countries of the world to have to look internal for survival, as anything that you could really think of has essentially been given fruition. Paladins are now actually powered by their gods. Clerics now actually heal with latent magics. Druids can now actually control plants and not just their effects. Pagans are now empowered by their drives and wills. Creatures, cryptids, monsters, and worse, have surfaced up and leveled out. Races from lore and myth such as dwarves and elves and winter beings have all come to fruition. And through a very painstaking, difficult time, we find ourselves taking a quick jump to the 1910s, and with the ramping up of the Great War. The Great War, if you could imagine, came at a much higher cost. Much more lives lost, much more infrastructure destroyed, much more wealth and abundance and information eradicated, leaving a much larger gap that allowed a lot of these would be known as sub-races, demi-races, demi-humans, various nicknames and flavors for them, to have the opportunity to step a little bit more into the normalization limelight, if you will. Dwarves are no longer a thing that people might read about in a magazine on the other side of the world. You'll occasionally see them. Hobbits and halflings, sometimes orcs in particular corners of the world, goblins, kobolds, the occasional dragons, dragonborn, And a lot of amalgamations in between are now becoming much more close to commonplace. You could roughly say, if you had to average it, and it varies across most of the world, you could safely say 1 in maybe every 30 persons is a particular race other than human. And in some places, that's much more dense. Other places, it's much more sparse. As you can imagine, after the Great War, great initiatives and drives to bring more representation and rights and authority and capability to these beings as they slowly start to domesticate and prove themselves, as they start to integrate into society. And society increasingly changes itself to adapt and work not only with magic, but the leaps in technology, the leaps in understanding of the universe and its mechanizations, and ultimately, it brings us to a point where the world is starting to realize the magical elements that were scattered about are rather thin and narrow in their supply. Technology is growing, and we're learning how to industrialize magic, but it's still not fully hit that precipice yet. Some countries are a little further than others, but you're looking at maybe another 10 years before magic goes full industrial and gets fully harnessed. And for some countries, seeing threats on the horizon, seeing a need to rekindle their greatness that they used to have, seeing a need to make sure that they can stay on top of whatever might come, and with a lot of whispers and rumors and hearsay, we find ourselves in the first quarter of 1936. Various countries, entities, orders, and occults are growing in power and influence, and the latest trend has been digging up history, digging up the past. Originally intended to do so for exploration and knowledge, the realization that if things active and living on top of the soil gain this much power, then surely the things that have been long buried and forgotten to time and history, if the rumors and God damn you, U of A, go away. No, fuck you, U of A. Advertisements.
Bro had the moment ruined because he doesn't have ad block.
You block plus.
Yeah, I should. There we go. And the realization that a effort, very conscious and forward effort, needed to be given to investigate, recover, and decipher, destroy, safeguard these various entities, items, beings, magics, and effects of lore and myth throughout history and time. And thus, many of these orders and groups began pushing themselves and making it their priority. Some, even to a obsessive amount, started getting almost too into wanting to collect these. Seeing these threats and seeing this rise and realizing they needed to be on top and prepared so that this wouldn't get the better of them, nations who have begun working together and realizing their alliances are important to keep up, such as the United Kingdom and its various Commonwealth entities across the world, the Dominion of Canada, the United States, the still existing, but in a much more copious and hand-holding manner, the Confederate States of America, the Coyote Confederation, also known as the Indian State or Indian Territory, and various other allied entities and groups such as parts of France, small nations in Oceania and South Africa, arguable groups in the Middle East and around Egypt, have all united under a secret operational banner. Groups such as the US War Department, the Special Operations Executive of the UK, the British Security Coordination, the Office of Historical Presidents, the Arizona and Texas Rangers, the French Ministry of War, the California Barons Society, the Secret Service Bureau, Scotland Yard, the Soviet GRU, the Special Air Services of the UK, the Inter-Allied Services Department, and the Special Unit Z from Australia True, have all committed some of their most skilled and adept persons, scientists, and capable people under the command of a rather astute and loud-spoken Major General in the US Army by the name of Wild Bill Donovan, who realized mere humans and our ability with magic and some of these other beings wouldn't be enough to spearhead securing these things, going after this magic and this history. We needed special people. We need, arguably, the term that is coined the most, specialists. Unique persons from any corner of the world that can be convinced to fight for this greater mission. Thus enters this particular band that we have here. Part of, and I quote, the Special Purpose Magical and Arcane Science Research and Exploration Combat Company number 2, but to a much more applicable name that is taken rather widely within the secret and top secret mechanizations of the Office of Strategic Services, Wondrous Company. And with this, we will open to our first scene of Wondrous Company. We have slow, kind of blowing winds, a nice gale, the sun's hanging somewhat lower over a desert.
Fuck.
You okay there?
I just stubbed my toe.
Alright. We have a low...
You know what? That's how we open.
That's the intro. There we go. That's the intro we need.
Yeah.
It's not the intro we deserve, but it's the intro we need.
Heavy
You have to
breath
live for the rest of the session.
Heavy breath into the mic. Fuck my toe. We open the scene to a low-sitting orange sun, about to touch the edge of the horizon of a long, stretching desert, a mass expanse of sand and dunes, rocky outcroppings and large boulders that used to be mountains. If you had to take a guess by the sort of orange filter that you can see on this sort of screen before you, your brain screen, your imagination, you could probably imagine somewhere in the Middle East. Imagination's great. You can imagine somewhere in the Middle East. Maybe
God damn it, I
by
hate
the
sandbox.
slight drum playing, or maybe the slight sound. Maybe somewhere in North Africa. You realize as the camera starts to pan down, and you start to see dust rising up from the ground, it isn't actually a drum beat, it's a engine beat. A very loud knocking engine and groaning of wheels and cogs and tracks and mechanizations, as a very odd, should we say, or obscure, perhaps prototype version of what would come to be known as a trench crawler, looking oddly similar to a Churchill Mark I, which is a very long tracked tank made by the British, is storming across this desert, passing by rocks and boulders. It is rumbling, it is loud. If you didn't know better, it would seem the governor was off and it was flooring it through the desert. And, as we get there, I would like our first character, our Cossack, roll me a Constitution save, good sir.
Carl just walked in on me naked.
Now
Constitution save
waggle your
failed.
stick at him. Waggle your stick at him.
What I'm
Gotta
hearing is
frighten him with the
somebody
snake.
entered the driver's compartment to see I drive it naked.
Constitution.
Just barely enough. A green-cloaked Russian Cossack is currently laying on his back. The back of his head is getting ever closer to the front of the spinning tracks as he is being pressed against the front track fender, large German hands on his neck as a tanker is currently straddling over him, trying to strangle him, and you are fighting him off as you have been tussling for the last couple minutes. The camera pans over to a rather astute southern gentleman who looks a bit haggard, the wind grabbing his hat and knocking it off his head. With nothing in your hands at the moment, ready to go to Duke, standing across from you on the back of the tank, above the engine vents, feeling your feet start to heat up, is another German tanker with a knife in hand as he goes to thrust the knife towards the center of your chest, Leroy. Roll me a dexterity save.
I don't know which one I'm supposed to be rolling here.
Dexterity save. So what you do is, at your character sheet, you'll see your core stats, and you got a little box next to it that says saves. Inside that, you'll click the one that says dex save.
Sometime today.
It'll pop up. Sometimes it can be a tad slow.
I'm panicking because I don't see that box. I think.
Yeah, I don't see that box either.
It's not popping up. Try clicking it again.
Hang on.
Hang on.
I might need a nice paint picture with it.
Oh, there you go. You got it.
There you
Damn,
go.
son!
21. As this tanker tries to thrust this dagger in an upward motion towards the center of your chest, you parry one hand to the side, the cane in your hand kind of loops around his wrist, and you're able to parry it off to the side as the knife goes flying off into the distance, landing in the dust. The camera following this knife as it flies off and away, you hear a bit of a groan and a cry, as I would like Torin to make a strength save for me.
Jesus.
Go hard in the paint here, boy.
The left hand slips as the clawed hands of this kobold is hanging by the removable pickaxe handle attached to the back of the tank for mechanitry and repairs, and that one hand is slowly starting to slip as the ground is rumbling and rolling by underneath you and dust is kicking up as you have been dangling and hanging there, having been astutely thrown off the top of the turret, barely able to save yourself moments prior.
Oh, Jesus.
A substantial hammer pair of dull thuds, a pop pop, sounds out from inside the turret before a snake-like head pops out with a pistol in hand, having wrangled the pistol from the two poor crewmen inside the turret still, and assumedly committed some treasonous act against them. A large Yanti snakefolk, looking a bit haggard, rises out of the tank hatch, pistol in hand. Give me a perception check, Mr. Hachu.
All right. This is fun. All right, do I just press it right?
Yep, you just click on the word itself, and it will roll it in the bar on the right. As you rise up, the wind and dust catches you in the face, and your eyes blink a couple times, both lenses closing for a moment as you have to kind of shield your face for a second. As you raise back up, you don't happen to see the struggle snuggle going on in the front left of the tank as your head turns, but you do catch eyes on the arguably larger German gentleman and used to be radio operator squaring off with Leroy on the back of the tank, looking like they're about to start going to Dukes. You have an opportunity to do something should you wish. What would you like to do?
Well, seeing as I can see him right there, I'm gonna shoot at him.
All right, roll me your pistol attack. You simply click on the words of the attack, and
Damn.
excellent. So now to roll damage, and this goes for everybody. On the results where you can see the number, you see how it says the name of the weapon that you rolled in purple? You'll click that, and it will show how much damage you've done. What did you do?
You broke it.
You done broke it. Give me a una memento, por favor, as I look into what happened.
He broke it.
You broke
I mean, worst
it.
come worst, he can just hit the damage thing on the attack, I believe.
That's what he clicked, I thought.
Mm-hmm. You told him to click on just the name of it.
Oh, there it is. We might have to look into that. However, roll 6 damage. As you kind of squint your eyes, you level the pistol and stabilize with your other hand for a moment, and your eye goes kind of razor thin as you fire a shot off, and it catches this guy right in the side. He grips it, kind of staggers off, nearly falls off the back, and then is getting ready to tumble. Leroy, you have an opportunity to act as this guy is about to stumble off the back of the tank.
I'm sorry, sir. Who am I saving today?
Not saving. The German that you were squaring off with on the back just got shot in the side and is starting to stagger backwards. About to fall off the back of the tank. Would you like to do anything?
Well, yes, sir. I believe I'd like to give him my finger. One finger, if you please.
You're just gonna flip him off?
Yes.
Roll charisma. He's a bit confused because he fully was keeping a hand free, expecting you to maybe club him or push him off. And he's more distraught for a moment as he gets his feet underneath him, pulls his hand away. It's now covered in blood as he took a shot to the side. And he looks to you, looks to the snake popping out of the top of the turret. And he's gonna run forward and try to throw a punch at you. Before we see the result of that punch, the camera snapshots to the inside of the tank, specifically to Sabine, who is struggling to try to maneuver the gear of this tank, as both tracks are set to full forward, and the gear is set to the highest gear because the driver, who is unfortunately lacking the upper half of his head, is leaning against all 3 sticks. And you are hovering in place looking at this as a small fairy in the tank compartment of the driver, wondering, how do I stop or slow this tank? If you would, for me, Sabine, roll me a investigation. Ah, very nice. You look at it and you realize, well, if there's 3 sticks, one must be the gear, the other 2 must be the left and right track control. Meaning if you want it to slow down, probably pull the gear back, because moving this body may be kind of hard to do since it's slumped against both sticks, but perhaps gearing down will cause the tank to slow down finally. As you kind of hover on over, your hands go to the top of the gear shifter, which is sort of a T-handle. You have to grip it and depress the handle to be able to shift between different gears. Give me a strength check, Sabine.
I wasn't made for this shit.
You not only chip a nail, which sucks, you can't even get the handle to depress, unfortunately. You are trying to grip it and just, you can't fucking get it. You're gonna need one of the bigger fellows up top probably to help you with this.
I'm gonna fly to the hatch if I can, and look at the snake dude. And that's the only name I don't know right now.
That would be
Then-
Hachu.
Ah, Hachu. Okay. Hachu, dear, can I get a little help in here?
Sure thing there. I'll be down right now.
The fairy is able to navigate through from the bottom of the tanker turret's compartment down into the driver's compartment, where there is a connecting shaft. Hachu, you're a large boy. You're a big old snake man. I need a dexterity check from you, sir.
All right. gonna go horribly. Let's go for it.
As you start to worm and snake your way through, of all things, your shoulders go kink. Shit. Your arms are pinned to your side as you are sort of snake form stuck. Your snoot just kind of looking at the ferry hovering in front of you in the driver compartment.
We might have a problem here real quick.
You know, you could probably just use your tail.
You could have said that first before I came down here.
Figured you'd have intelligence of your own body.
Comes and goes.
With that revelation, the camera pans back up through the side of the turret in a fun panning shot to our Cossack, who is still struggle snuggling with this rather rotund German who is trying to strangle the back of his head into the tank treads, and he is making more gain. Make me a strength check, Peter. You're struggling to hold this guy back. He's making more and more, and you feel your hat get ripped off the top of your head as the tank tread catches it and pulls it, and your head gives a small bounce for a moment. He's going to win soon. Leroy, give me a perception roll, good sir.
Perceptions and intelligence.
Nope. So under your list of skills, which is your investigation, your perception, your
Right,
acrobatics,
right.
you'll find it in there. It's really hard to perceive either A, the kobold screaming to your left, or your Cossack friend being choked out and about to be treaded to the right, because a fist swings forward and catches you center of the chest for half a moment, knocking half the wind out of you as you take a d4 of bludgeoning damage as this guy in the back of the tank recovers and manages to just sock you center of the chest with a heavy fist as you take a half step back. Looking back to him, you do still have some of your items on you. How would you like to retaliate?
Man, I got him real good in the piss and knocked all of them out of him.
All the wind is gone.
I'm sorry. I'm struggling with this. Trying to picture everything in my head.
Take your time with it. I'll try to go a little bit slower if you'd like.
No, it's it is what it is.
I get you. Essentially, the tanker on the back, we pan back over to him successfully hitting you in the chest for 4 bludgeoning damage. As you kind of stagger back, you have the chance to retaliate in a way that you feel fit.
Of course, I bring my sidearm around and I I attempt to put one back in his chest. You're gonna bludgeon me, motherfucker.
You unholster your pistol and kind of aim it towards him. Roll me a pistol attack.
Boy. E-T-D-T-D-T-D.
Ooh, alright, roll me damage by clicking on the words and the purple lettering on the results. Hey! This guy takes a second shot to the chest. It's center mass. It catches him. He kind of groans for a second, falls sideways. Torin, can I get a dexterity save from you, good little sir? The full weight of a German body going limp lands on your legs, and I need you to make an athletics save.
Man, we getting a half party kill fucking session 0.
Wait. Athletics. Oh, that's below. All right.
Hey! So your hand gives, and for 3 seconds, the only thought is, ow, my fucking legs just got crunched by a body falling on, but also, oh god, I'm about to die. Catch. Oh. You find grip on what seems to be the breaker bar on the back of the tank, as your hand clenches to it, still hanging from the back of the tank.
Oh god! Oh god!
Peter, you have a half moment where he lets off a little bit of his hand, freeing your right hand. Would you like to retaliate, or continue struggling to get his hands off your neck?
I'm going to stab him in the throat with my bayonet.
You're gonna reach down and pull your bayonet? I need, first, a sleight of hand check from you.
Ooh, this is not going to go well. Ah, fuck!
You go to reach for the bayonet, and because it's a triangle piercing bayonet in those unique holsters, you push it, and you hear a tink, and then a crunch. As you realized in your struggle to reach down and grab it, you broke the strap attached to your belt, and you see the bayonet slipping out of your hand, rolling and falling off the side of the tank.
Ah, fuck.
Roll me a constitution check. Not save, a constitution check. Which means just raw constitution.
So, is that going to be the same as doing a constitution saving throw?
Yep, it's not the same. Essentially, you have saving throws, which is a active change. Then you have your core stat, so you're going to be rolling your
Okay, never
core
mind. I was
constitution.
clicking the wrong button earlier. All right.
There you go. So the constitution save is different from a constitution check, and likewise for the other stats. If it's a save, it's coming from the save table. If it's a check, it's coming from your core stats. You're a hardy man. You've been through worse. You've been choked up before at a beautiful sugar plum ballet before. This ain't nothing. You can hold your breath for another 30 seconds if you need to. As he begins to strangle you again, and you feel the back of your head hit one of the treads, and your body is starting to scoot upwards just a little bit towards the edge. This guy is dead set on getting your ass.
Believe it or not, I have been in this exact situation before.
We pan back over. Sabine, how would you like to try to remedy this predicament in the driver's compartment? I'll give.
First off, not shoot. You think you can back up a little bit, or are you stuck there?
I am a minor inconvenience. Give me one moment. I'm gonna back myself out a little bit.
Give me a. Let's see. That would be a good check for a. Let's go with
Oh god.
acrobatics. Give me an acrobatics roll.
Oh fuck. I just.
Not terrible. You're able to shimmy, and it really hurts your left shoulder before you're able to kind of slip back, and you kind of bang your back against the kind of backside of the cannon breech, and it's like, ow, fucking okay. However, the little entryway between the driver compartment and the bottom of the turret is now open once again.
Up there and see what I can do to help them. Why don't you try to get your tail and try to pull that damn handle?
Righto.
Sabine, I'm assuming you're gonna flutter past and head out the top of the turret.
Yes. I head up, and what do I see as soon as I pop my head up there?
Give me a perception check.
A fucking disaster.
It's going swimmingly. What are you talking about? You, take the full grasp of the situation. You see Leroy standing on the back, putting a round into the chest of what was assumedly the radio operator as he falls back and lets out a very shrewd kobold yell when he hits it. Oh, the kobold must be hanging off the backside of the tank. Leroy seems okay, if not a little winded. Where's Peter? Oh god, Peter's getting strangled over the fender.
I swear, I have to save you boys every single time. Alright, I'm gonna look at the, look at the guy who's strangling Peter right now, and I'm gonna cast a first level sleep spell on the guy who's on him. Which essentially is a cone, and hopefully he has a lower health than Peter right now.
All right, roll me the spell. Ooh, okay. Peter, you feel yourself able to let out a breath as the hands go limp, the eyes start to shut, and he starts to slump forward. And he is basically about to faceplant with yours as he is slumping towards you. How would you like to react?
I'm gonna push him back onto the tank and then climb back up myself.
Make me a strength check.
Ready for another one?
You try to push him back, and he starts slumping forward. And I need you to make me a dexterity save, please.
Dexterity save.
You try to dig your heels in, you try to grab the side, you try to grab something as his weight is pressing on your shoulders and face, as you and him are sliding off the front fender. Sabine, you have a half moment to possibly save or prevent both of them falling under the tank tread.
This is gonna be great, because all my spells are for battlefield control and nothing for that. I'm gonna do the only thing that I can possibly do right now. I'm going to try to fly forward, grab essentially him by the shoe, and pull back.
Give me a strength save.
Oh god, it's over.
It is over. I have a -2 to strength. Strength save or strength?
Strength save.
Okay, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing either way.
Come on, show that fairy strength.
Oh, did it not do it?
I don't believe it did.
Oh, no, you go straight. Yeah, you go straight. Sorry, I have the pop-up window right now. And I'm hitting bumps, so give me 1 second to actually get the strength save. There we go.
Well, you slow his descent as he is starting to slide forward. Your feet are scooting on the top of the tank, on the tank skirt, and the body falls over the front of you, Peter, and you hear a thud and a sort of crunch as you realize, oh, that's about to be me in 2 seconds. Leroy, give me a perception check, if you would, please, sir.
Oh, and the World OSS managed to recruit this ragtag bunch, I will never know. We all seem to be shitting ourselves. You said perception?
Perception, please. Hey! As you realize, hey, I put down that guy. Okay. How's everyone else doing? Okay, Sabine's holding Peter by the boot, who is about to fall down the front of the tank and under the track, possibly both of them. And also, Torin is hanging on by one hand on the back of the tank to your left. What do?
This appears to be a rather fine catch-22. How do you do? I gotta say, one of y'all can't say both of y'all. One of y'all's got a hand. One of y'all ain't got nothing. Gonna have to save the one that ain't got nothing.
How do you
That would
go
be-
over to aid Sabine and Peter?
Well, Sabine seems to have Peter in hand. The other one's only holding on by a hand. That'd be Torin, right?
Yes.
I gotta go save Torin.
Alrighty.
You helping the Snake Man help a Russian who can't seem to keep his feet under him. Well, it wouldn't be fair to Torin if I just leave him hanging. I'm gonna move over to Torin and extend my cane, and hopefully that'll be enough. I can balance myself on the center of this jockey ride and pull him aboard.
Leroy, I want you to make me a strength check, And Torin, I want you to make me a sleight of hand. This poor kobold, dusty and dust covered, struggling to hold on, cannot get his left hand on the end of the cane as much as you're trying to hand it to him. He
What
is
are these
struggling to get
rolls?
a grasp. They're great rolls.
No, they're not. I haven't rolled over 8.
Ah!
My dear sir, I need you to stretch your fingers if you want to live.
Roll me a sleight of hand with advantage, meaning you roll twice and we take the higher number.
Jesus.
Watch him roll one.
Wait, me?
Yes, you, Torin. Oh. Oh.
You just had to say it, didn't you?
Holy crap! This is.
You
He
just had to say it, didn't you?
he grabs the cane, and you go to pull it up, and all of a sudden, slip. The cane is now in Torin's hand at his side. You are now caneless, Leroy.
Why did I got it?
We pan back over for a moment to our snake in the tank. Hachu, what are you doing, my friend?
I'll try to find a way to make this tank stop.
Give me an investigation.
Bro just got his tail slapping around inside the driver's compartment.
Like I like to see.
You
Oh my
poke
God.
just your head in, your eyes are darting on every corner. Big gray stick, bigger than the other sticks and components, has a big red handle with a lever on top. It looks like it goes forward and back. That's gotta be it.
Oh God.
Well, I haven't never been on one of these contraptions before. That looks like something I can work with. So I'm pull it all the way back.
You kind of reach and try to extend your arm and you grip it. I need you to make me a sleight of hand check, please.
Oh my god, this one's not gonna work out. What?
You grip it, you hear the tink. It is full forward. What would you like to do to it?
So it's full forward now.
You have to press the safety lever on it so you can now articulate it however you want. How are you gonna move this? In what manner are you moving it and to what extent?
I'm gonna slowly move it back towards me.
I would like everybody to make
Oh.
me a dexterity save, please.
What about me? I'm
You as
longer
well.
on the tank.
No, you're on the tank. You're still
Oh,
on the tank. You're just hanging on the back
A
of the cane
dexterity save. Bro,
there. Dexterity
Oh.
save.
Waving his cane around in the
Question.
air.
Yeah, you got his
Question.
cane in one
oh,
hand.
the one time!
What's the
If
question?
I feel the sudden change in my body, can I let go and just fly?
Yes, you can do that. However, I need all 5 of you to give me a dex save. We have Peter, we have Torin. We have Sabine, alright. You may want to turn off advantage Sabine and make it toggleable. Leroy's got a 15. And we are only missing Hachu. I need your
Oh,
dex
you want
save.
me too? Oh,
Yes,
okay.
you
Hold
too.
on.
Oh, you too. Dexterity save, please, not a check.
I would do the save part.
Under the section that says saving throws.
Top left.
There we go. Alrighty. Everybody, Hachu, you nearly bash your head against the side for a half moment. Leroy, you put a hand on the kind of hot grill and stabilize yourself for a half second before you're able to stand back up. Peter, you slide an extra inch further down, and Sabine, you kind of scoot with him, and you're getting close to that point of no return before he is in full fall. And Torin, you lose the cane. However, you still manage to hold on as you swing forward with just a little lurch. Have you ever heard a gearbox try to get grinded mid-drive without pushing the clutch? That
It's just grenade.
sort of.
Yeah.
You get a nice, loud, grinding wind-up toy sound from this poor transmission as it and the tank lurches about 2 miles slower for half a second and then proceeds to speed back up as the shifter will not move. What would you like to do, Hachu? It seems even though depressing the handle and pulling back on it isn't changing the gear, there's some other step to this.
Try to find, like, look for a clutch or something I'm supposed to press while at the same time.
Give me an investigation.
Damn.
Roll me a perception check, please.
What are these rolls?
There we
Amazing
go.
storytelling. Well, you're looking for a clutch or a pedal. Maybe it's under the dead dude's feet, and you're trying to kind of push his body to the side to see what you can see. And in the corner of your eye, your right eye kind of leans to the side a bit and looks out the driver's compartment window in front of you. Oh, that's a cool mirage. Why can I see the opposite side of a cliff edge? That's a canyon! That's a canyon rapidly approaching. We go back to the top. Leroy, would you like to give another attempt to help Torrid, who unfortunately lost your cane?
I'm so sorry.
My dear sir, that was a custom cane from my father. We're gonna have to have words if we get out of this alive.
I'll find it. I'll go back. I'll find it.
What am I rolling again?
Roll me a strength save.
Gotta make the cripple roll the strength save.
Oh my
You take a knee and reach down, and you grab Torin's hand, and you go to pull up. Torin, give me a strength check, please, sir.
Every one of us rolling
105.
against type right off the bat.
Oh, there we go. Thank you.
Hey!
Where Leroy tries to help grab your wrist of sorts to start pulling you up, he doesn't realize he's kind of taking away the only point of leverage you have. And for half a moment, you're about to fall before your hand and wrist twist, and you grip into his hand, and you are now successfully holding his wrist. As Leroy, you're able to pull up the rather lighter kobold and set him beside you as the two of you are able to take a breath. Both of you give me perception checks, please.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Ooh, 20 out of 12. Both of you looking to each other kind of are able to blink, catch your breath. As you both kind of look over in unison, one to the right and one to the left towards the front of the tank. And you see Sabine about to completely slip and Peter about to fall off the front fender. His back is actively getting occasionally rippled by the tank treads. Would either of you like to run over and assist?
At this time, sir, I have been relieved of my cane. I wonder if going to save another knucklehead is in my best interest.
He's gonna die. He's gonna die.
Well, then you better get your humbly little roly-poly butt over there and save his butt while I try and see what's going on with the driver.
Oh, okay. 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 Okay.
Kobold, give me dexterity check.
Where? I'm trying to find. There it is. Not a save, a check, right?
Yep, a check. For a half moment, Tiptoe Through the Tulips plays as you are stepping over the various mechanizations of the left side above the track before your toe stubs. The one of metal cable loops at the end somehow loops around your two right toes on your kobold foot, and you find yourself landing on your chest a few feet away, just barely out of reach of Sabine.
Helpless grabby hands.
Sabine, you look behind you for a moment and you see helpless grabby hands trying to help you. Do you take them?
Give your hand. Give.
Are you there, Sabine?
Sorry about that. I was in the middle of talking to Ginger. We're arguing whether a dog we saw a French bulldog or an English bulldog. Or American bulldog. Yeah. Anyway,
I said, dear sir, who is this Ginger? There is nobody on this vehicle unless you're talking to a German named Ginger.
well, the Germans are all
So
dead
you
or
got
off, so.
Torin, who tried to come and help you, unfortunately tripped and is giving baby grabby hands to assist you should you maybe reach one hand to hold his and the other hand to hold on to Peter's boot.
Really have to do all this.
Alright. Sabine gives out a little like kind of little sputter of a song. And when she does so, Piotr, you feel like yourself imbued with something, like some extra like force that seems like it'll help you if you require a little bit help to, I don't know.
Oh, I get a +2 to my 1.
No, you get, so in the next 10 minutes you can roll another d6 as Bardic Inspiration fills you.
So any
Okay.
check that you make or roll that you make, you can add a d6 to it. However, what I need is Sabine to roll me the strength save of all strength saves.
You do realize I have a -2 to my strength,
Come
right?
on, Spider-Man.
This is gonna be hilarious if it works.
Wow, I'm gonna die in session 0.
You reach your hand out and take both the kobold's hands in one of your little, even smaller baby fairy hands, and your other hand literally wraps its wrist around one of the bootlaces.
You're holding on. Is she holding on to my spur?
Essentially. She is pulling the Spider-Man, keeping the ship from falling in two right now, between a kobold whose foot is wrapped in a cable, and you who are suspended off the front of the tank about to fall into the treads. Peter, you have a moment to perhaps get yourself out of the situation now as you are no longer sliding forward. But your top of your head is actively looking at the floor. The tank treads are getting very close to scraping your shoulder blades each time.
So I'm like falling backwards over the fender into the treads.
Essentially, yes.
Peter, I'm letting you know this now. If you can't right yourself, I'm just gonna have to direct you under the tank and hope you don't get squished.
I'm gonna try and curl myself up and towards the center of the tank.
This is why we do crunches in 4th grade, people. Give me a strength check.
Oh god, and do I add the Bardic Inspiration to this?
You can add it if you want to.
How do
You
I
want
go about
to.
doing that?
You just roll a d6.
You actually don't have to add it until after your roll, which yes, you definitely should.
You ready for a 1? Nope, it's
Slash roll 1d6
slash roll 1
or slash R.
6.
Slash roll or slash R1d6. One word, no spaces.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
Well, for a Cossack, you've never done that, like, 90-degree leg Russian dancing before, so you don't have the greatest core strength. Maybe a little bit of a belly, you know, the eating a bit more of the bread in the church, and maybe getting a little more rations than average. You don't quite got the core crunch strength. You can't. You start to raise yourself up, and then it gives out. Give me a moment.
I am a 40-year-old man.
You are a 40-year-old man. Give me a moment. Let me. Ooh. Peter, you take 7, dare I say, scraping and bludgeoning damage. You just take 7 damage as your backside gets cheese grated by the rolling tank treads for a moment as you bounce and get grinded against it before raising yourself up just a little bit, barely.
It's all right. I'm fine. Everything's fine.
I would like
Everything is fine.
all 4 of you on top of the tank, not counting Hachu, all 4 of you on top of the tank to give me a perception roll.
You're gonna have to tell me how to take off the advantage thing, because I can't remember how, but for right now, that's that.
I always use the left one whenever it's turned on.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring.
So, Peter, you don't
I'll
see it. Oh,
I was gonna say also, what is the state of Torn right now? He's basically being like held on by
so
a cord.
in order of the front of the tank over the fender is Peter hanging backwards. You have one hand on his boot. Your other hand is reaching to the right. You're basically T-posing. And in your right hand is Torin with both hands holding your hand. And the only reason you're not sliding any further is because his foot got stuck in one of those loop cables. And he's basically, you're all being held up by the weight on his ankle.
So he essentially just Three Stooges us
Essentially, yeah.
from failure.
Yeah. So, Leroy and Sabine, you two notice. Torin, you don't notice because you maybe can't see past them. And Peter, you got bigger things to worry about than what's coming up in front of you. 220, 200, 180 meters and closing. The two of you, Leroy and Sabine, see that's a canyon of all canyons approaching, and the tank is steaming towards it rapidly. Hachu, back to you. You want to try something else, bud?
Check if this thing has brakes.
Give me another investigation.
Oh, he's in the tank. He has no idea.
I looked out the window.
Looking out the viewport
Saw
again one
earlier,
last
yeah.
time as you see the ravine approaching quicker and quicker. You look back down, and you see what looks like pedals underneath this guy's feet. But it's a very tight compartment, and his body is slumped forward. The only way to really free it, you can't move his legs, you can't scoot him well enough. You're gonna need to pull his body either back through or maybe push it out the top hatch. You're gonna need to get his body out of that compartment if you're gonna fully be able to get into there enough to start articulating these pedals yourself.
Can I reach his legs from where I am?
You can reach the, upper thighs. Unless you want to kind of wedge yourself in there again and kind of be chest to shoulder with a dead body. What would you like to do, sir?
I use his legs as the actual pedals.
Use what?
His legs are by the pedals, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna use his legs as the pedals since I can't reach down there.
You're gonna grab his thighs and try to mannequin his legs to push the right pedal? Okay. Give me a sleight of hand.
Sure.
Let's see if you can marionette this dead dude's legs. So you reach and you're able to kind of grab the top of the pants and pull it up and kind of cause his legs to sort of drag and dangle. And it's like you're dragging a heavy hunk of meat over the top of like a countertop. the boots are just kind of limply dragging left and right because the ankles are very limp and noodly as you're trying to articulate it, and you feel like you get a sideways boot onto a pedal, and you kind of push down on the top of that leg and the knee to see if you can depress that pedal, and you hear what sounds like a faint sort of click among all the rumbling and rolling of the tank.
Oh, the tank's gonna explode now, isn't it? Self-destruct button?
Right next to the gas pedal.
The foot pedal's pressing something.
As it should be.
So you depressed one of the pedals at his feet. What would you like to do now?
What did it do? Well,
What's up?
the damn tank stopped stopping. How in the blazes do I stop this thing?
The world may never know.
Do I
As
hear
your
that?
eye catches sight again of the trench line, now 100 meters away and closing. Unfortunately, Torn, being on the outside of the tank, you can't hear much of what he's saying at all.
That's a shame.
If you had to take a guess, Hachu, give me a wisdom check. Wisdom fills your brain. You are not qualified or capable of articulating the mechanizations of this tank or how it works. You don't know what that pedal is that's even being depressed or what it's doing right now. Maybe an abandoned ship might be a better option.
I can't figure this out. I had never been in one of these before. I get up and get out the top hatch.
So you kind of slither out the top hatch and you raise up and you plant both your hands on the top of the tank commander's cupola, and you look over and you see the Tom and Jerry daisy chain of Peter hanging backwards and then the ferry T-posing for dominance attached to the kobold who is holding onto the ferry, who has his ankle in a cable on the rolled up tow cable in the back of the tank. And then you see Leroy standing there a bit obstinately looking to them. What do you do, Hachu?
What in the hell is going on out here? We need to get off this damn tank. There's a cliff coming up.
Would like to, but I'm rather stuck.
I just got on!
I would like
Well, you're going to
everybody
go
to
ahead
give
and
me...
now.
I would like everyone to give me another dexterity save, please. Ooh.
About fucking time.
Oh, it's fucking over.
Oh. There...
I think at this point, we should just roll to the side and let go. Someone get Torrance foot.
So, it kind of works in that way. Because you have wings and can hover, it doesn't really bother you, as the entire left side of the tank that everybody is kind of stretched across hits a rather substantial rock that even the tank treads can't deal with, and kind of bunny hops the left about 6 inches up, which kind of works like a pressure pad for all of you. Sabine, you just hover upwards and then hover back down until your feet touch, while you are also suspended by holding them. Leroy, you stagger back and almost fall backwards, spinning your arms rapidly before stepping twice forward again, barely catching yourself. Torin, you rise up 6 inches and come back down 6 inches. You maintain your grip, but you just kind of get thumped on your chest and face. Hachu, you kind of wacky inflatable tube man for a second in the TC hatch, just fuck. Poor Peter though. You take another 4 damage as the bounce ragdolls your back against the tank treads again. And I need Sabine and Torin to both make me strength saves.
Oh man.
Despite the literal pulling against you, They managed to hold on and keep you from fully falling, but you are still dangling there. You guys are now 20 meters away from the cliff edge. You are rapidly approaching.
We're doing a strength save?
What's up?
Are we doing a strength save?
Yeah, strength save. Oh no.
Not as bad as it could have been.
It's not
can't.
quite enough though.
Darn it, I want to do Bardic Inspiration, but I'll do that later.
All right. Whatever happens, I'm gonna try and roll to the outboard side as we fall.
Roll me a acrobatics, Peter.
1.
There is
Holy
an unfortunate crunch as Peter rolls back and gets enveloped by the treads. And before you can even focus on it, as all of your eyes go a bit wide, the back end of the tank is now leaning forward as the front of the tank is roller coaster style rocketing over the side of this cliff as all of you start to hang in midair, suspended. Unfortunately, as it starts to careen over this crest, and you guys are rapidly approaching a unfortunate... Oh, fuck. All the puzzle pieces, all the little makeshift models, the tabletop that has been set atop the wooden crate in the back of this transport plane, and the young lieutenant who has been entertaining you guys on this 14-hour flight is very distraught as the entire roleplay session for his experimental game that he's been very adamant to teach you about scatters to all sides of the back of this transport plane as all of you feel turbulence for a moment.
No fucking way.
Do I get my HP back then?
Yeah, you didn't lose any HP.
Okay.
You just
Oh
have
no,
a
I
meta
could
moment
take trauma
inside
damage.
Did we just do a game inside a game? Did we just go full meta?
Perhaps.
Kinda got my heart rate going a little bit. What's with those dice? That was terrible.
Well, that was interesting. But I still have to ask, why would a fairy do strength checks?
The young Lieutenant Gygax of the OSS is currently crawling on his hands and knees trying to grab the bits and pieces and put them into various pouches again, as some of the other British commandos sitting in the back are kind of looking at all of you and smirking a little bit before going back to what they're doing. Well, you see, I'm trying to make a system that I feel can be very balanced and open. I'm trying to figure out the parameters that perhaps allows for any situation to be vaguely umbrellaed in a sort of statistic-based check. Oh, where did that piece go?
That sucked.
Hope that piece went up your ass, British boy.
He kind of gives a look and, like, kind of lowers his head for a half moment and goes back to, like, recovering some of the pieces, putting them in the pouch. Stitches it
Oh,
up.
honey, let me help you out with that. I just start flying around, like, inside and, like, grabbing pieces.
You're already grab some of the pieces and bring it to him. He kind of collects them. And he sits down and is kind of reshuffling the almost 20 pages of notes that he has in the two little binders. In addition to what seems to be a lot of his other information for the mission, him having been the officer put in charge of this particular expedition. It seems a lot of his notes are intermixed with his hobby. He is trying to make a game that he believes should be called Dungeons and Monsters and is kind of trial and erroring it. And thought you all might be open to perceiving it. As we kind of look to the party here, we'll go down the list and we'll allow each of you to introduce yourselves, describe what you look like, and perhaps give a kind of short and brief, what do you specialize in? What is your specialty? And we'll start with Hachu.
Well, locally, people have called me the Lizard Wizard, even though I'm a snake. But I'm from South Louisiana, good old Nolans area. I will give you a fix for any of your magical needs. Apart from healing, I'll know how to do that.
We then go over to Leroy, if you'd like to introduce yourself. pays to be the strong, quiet type. It's okay, rookie. Are you with us?
Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're-
sorry. I accidentally muted myself. Well, since we're all introducing our fine selves here, my name is Copeland Leroy Copeland. Hail from Mississippi, town of Vicksburg, where that fool Grant got himself killed. Come from a mercantile background, courtesy of my family, and been doing some work these last few years in the Gulf and Western Africa.
Chukov, would you please introduce yourself?
I'm gonna nod my head. I am Father Peter Troikov, Orthodox priest and former member of His Royal Majesty Tsar Nicholas's personal guard.
And you almost got yourself killed in a board game.
I have never been one for gambling.
Better the Kenyan than the Bolsheviks, eh?
Always. I can heal most wounds unless you are a communist, in which case you will burn in hell.
I do believe those dice were communists, so you couldn't roll worth a damn.
Yeah, I want to know what was up with those dice. Who makes your dice?
I don't know. They seem to work pretty well for me.
Oh,
And me.
I don't know what y'all talk about. My rolls
Blessed
were
by the
great.
golden touch.
you must have cheated.
Nah,
Sabine,
never cheat.
if you'd
Except when
like
there's
to
money.
introduce yourself, please.
You would long grace me. I don't know what you're talking about.
So you all, the shortest probably person of the party, if not, Horn might be closer to the shortest, but we'll see.
He's got about
So
a foot and
a-
a half on you, roughly.
Oh, okay. That's fun. So,
Don't sound so disappointed.
So a shorter, roughly about 5 foot. I'm sorry, not 5 foot. Sorry, about like a 3.5 foot tall fairy, purple hair, wearing essentially the clothes that looks like Evie from the Mummy, but with like bright purple hair. Hi, I'm Sabine. I hail from Birmingham, Alabama. I'm an entertainer of sorts, so there are times when you might get a little inspired by one of my dancers, songs, or just music in general. But I also can sling a spell or two, and try to help out everybody involved.
She can entertain these nuts any day.
Sir, I'll have none of that. Listen, I am a lady.
That was wildly
For a southern
inappropriate.
man, you're quite vulgar.
I've been known to rub elbows with the worst of them from time to time, whatever makes ends meet.
Man, it seems we have a lot of Southerners here, don't we?
Yes.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Out of
Praise hell,
character.
praise hell.
For a 1930s campaign, there was a lot of Confederates in this party. Torin, would you please introduce yourself?
I wonder why.
Well, first off, I'm wondering why we're on an airplane, but I'm Torrin Levencroft. I am raised in Boston, Massachusetts. I'm a researcher.
Yankee, a bloody Yankee. Yeah.
Not exactly, no. I'm a historian. I am from the Boston Museum of Unnatural History. It's across the street from the natural one. We handle more unnatural things. It's very interesting, very fun. But yeah, I assume I'm here to consult. I wasn't expecting the airplane or all of your guns. Yeah.
As everyone's kind of there, you see a little bit in the background some of the commandos. There's about 6 of them sitting in the back. You guys have been riding in this plane for a while. Each of you were variously flown or ported into DC. Before you could really get comfy or even get shown your what would be future quarters and base of operations, it would seem all of you arrived on time to be kind of hurriedly but professionally shown your way to a plane, loaded up into the back with supplies and some military before flying off, and you have been flying for a long while across the Atlantic. As sitting across from you, the lieutenant in charge of this kind of looks up to you, shuffling his hat, going through some of the papers, and kind of taps the papers on the table. Well, I suppose now is better time than any to give you the full briefing on our mission. I was only supposed to give it to you once we were on the ground, but I see no harm in doing so now. Obviously, I am Lieutenant Gygax, and we are, shall I say, commencing Operation North Torch, I believe is what they called this. I'm not sure why North Torch, perhaps because we're heading towards Scandinavia, maybe Norway, north, and then I'm not entirely sure the rationale behind it. However, we have picked up trace elements and recon footage of what seems to be repeated, and what they have described, some locals have described, and we have obtained one aerial picture of, is a large rainbow of sorts, dropping from the heavens and the skies into a remote area in this forest. More specifically, he starts looking at his notes, Brafhella Forest in Norway. Well,
At least we're not sending a Russian to Finland. That would be way too great.
We're chasing a rainbow across the Atlantic Ocean.
Are we about to find ourselves a damn leprechaun?
something like that. Well, perhaps.
about to say,
although I would imagine they'd mostly be in Ireland, but there have been repeated spottings of this, and now that we have photo evidence of it occurring on what seems to be a regular basis of every 3 to 4 days, if only for a couple moments before disappearing, we understand that there is a local cult to this area. The Occult of the Bear, locals have called them. And we're not entirely sure their purpose, their extent, their origin, or even what they're trying to do. However, considering the area and the history of this area, we can only assume perhaps maybe this is something related to the Great Norse Rainbow Bridge or something of that sort. Not really knowing what, and not entirely sure who, other than a hunch that it may be the Cult of the Bear. We're going to investigate this area in force. See whether we are to shake hands or if something more nefarious is afoot. And, if need be, put a stop to it.
You mean to tell me that, as of right now, we're trying to find the bridge to go see Odin?
If that is indeed what we assume they may be tampering with or attempting to manifest.
Odin's kind of mean, just let you know.
Since when does
You know from experience.
I'm sorry.
It's more of a friend of a friend. Like, I've never met him myself, but there are plenty of fairies who have ventured through all the realms. They call our land different names, but I know the Norse call it, I think it's, I don't think it's Alfheim, that's for the elves. But there are other lands that, you know, I think Venenheim is what they call ours.
In my extensive studies of religion, have I come across anything that would be relevant?
As far as this goes, you haven't actually really read too much into Norse mythos. However, you can give me a history check if you would like.
All right.
And those of you who have read about ancient magical sort of beliefs, or may have a following of ancient magics, you may also roll me a history check.
It's 8. Damn.
Yeah. Leroy, 5. All right.
You see where my
So-
stats went.
The three of you kind of raise a brow in unison as you look to each other. Leroy, you have a little bit of understanding that there was the occasional, like, kind of sort of pagan orders of sorts. And the Cult of the Bear, you feel like you may have heard it in passing once or twice. However, Peter, you definitely heard about it, being on the border of Finland. And Torin, you definitely read about this, if at least twice in your life, at some point in time, it came across your desk and you did read about it. The Cult of the Bear is the sort of occult remnant of what used to be known as the Kalmar Union. The Kalmar Union was sort of the Switzerland before Switzerland. It was the Sweden? European empire that...
You mean Sweden?
Well, it was Sweden, but...
Switzerland's in the middle of Europe.
It was...
Or do you mean the neutrality thing?
It was the Switzerland in the fact that it made everybody's coin.
Okay.
It minted people's coin, it officiated coin, it balanced
Now, why don't you
coin.
wait for his description, jackass?
It was kind of the bank for much of medieval Europe, and extending a little bit later on. Once they eventually folded and started to flounder, certain people still clung to the idea of Kalmar, and through some odd way, it ended up resulting in a sort of Nordic occult, which identifies as the Cult of the Bear, often signified by bears or bear claw sort of symbology and items and belief, but for the last while have largely disappeared.
I love bear claws.
I narrate all of this in a needlessly wordy and pretentious voice.
So you sound like Luke on a normal day.
Sorry, I read a lot of books. It's kind of... It happens.
I nod understandingly.
So are you sure you're not an exhibit at the Unnatural Museum? or you just work there?
I actually started as an exhibit, and proved myself a bit more worthy than an... You know, let's not talk about that right now.
I'm just arching my brow and listening quietly.
I rolled a successful real-life perception check and noticed that Alex joined us.
Hello.
Hey! Hello, Lucas. Alright,
I'm
perfect.
free from the cheese mines.
Hell yeah. Perfect time to...
And out of the plain board lavatory comes...
We all died.
So, Nikos, let me give you a little briefing, a little catch-up here. You've spent the last while in the back of the plane of this larger sort of C-47 style cargo plane of sorts, realizing you're a little semi-uncomfortable with this high altitude of flying. Maybe it kind of messes with your makeup just a little bit, your chemistry, it feels kind of odd. But you come stepping out of the sort of back compartment, being able to look at the clouds for a while kind of helped. As you walk back out and you see, oh, thank God, the last 6 hours, what was he calling it? Dungeon and Monsters, I think you overheard him say. The lieutenant was trying to entertain the rest of your party with a role-playing game until turbulence got in the way and kind of launched all the pieces up into the air. Seeing, thankfully, that is done, you kind of walk over where you see they seem to be discussing something about the briefing and something about history. The kobold is prattling on about what sounds like the Kalmar Union, as if you'd like to give a little introduction and how you kind of rejoin the others.
Sorry, lads. Hate heights. Or flying, more particularly. Prefer more to be on the ocean.
And I think the engine just stalled there for a second.
Hey, you're on the speed
Come on,
dial.
don't do that to me, man. So what is it we're exactly getting ourselves into this time?
So
This time.
the lieutenant kind of looks to you and then looks to everyone else. Yes, Well, I hope you all are okay, and, well, anyways, this is Nikos. He has operated with us for a short amount of time now. As you can see, he is a water genasi, and very astute in his abilities. He will hopefully be a good help for us, assumedly primarily acting as your point man. And kind of
well,
motions,
nice and chunky.
kind of motions for you to sit down with him.
I have one question. What? Why are there so many guns here?
Well, for protection.
I thought this was supposed to be an academic endeavor.
It is academic.
You will find academia and firefights cross over more often than you would expect.
They're not
Good
supposed to!
You'd be surprised just how many archaeologists go out into the desert and never return because they never bothered to take protection with them.
Oh.
We don't intend on using them, but it's rather nice if we have them available. To which you hear the response of a Lee Enfield bolt action being enthusiastically racked by one of the commandos.
Grab the damn Lee Enfield. You have one.
Alright, fine. I'll give you the sound effects.
You fucking. You gotta give me an M1 Grand Ping while you're at it? Fucking.
Don't have one of those, sorry. I do have a 1903, though.
Hey, I can work with that one. Hold on.
There you go.
Yeah! God. Well, like I was
That on hand if
explaining
you need
to.
any more sound effects from it. I even have some ammo if you want me to go shoot it out my back window.
As I was explaining to the rest of your party, we are going to conduct a sort of first contact with who we assume to be the Occult of the Bear. We believe they may be attempting some cross-dimensional, extraplanar teleportation or movement, because all the descriptions and the photo that our spycraft has taken makes it look and sound an awful lot like the Old Norse Rainbow Bridge. But that being said, and he kind of opens up the book and pulls it and goes to a kind of looks to a map and is starting to pore over it a little bit. We will be landing in a rather large opening, as we don't want our presence to be officially known. Should I say, as if you will look to roll 20, you all can see the map that he is looking at and referencing.
You're gonna land this plane. There.
We're going to be landing in a rather large opening that we have been assured will be sturdy enough to take back off from, and do so in secret and low profile. Upon landing, we will disembark our contents, and your team will follow just a bit behind our team. And he kind of motions back to the 6 riflemen in the back. We will take point and scout in advance of you. And once we have deemed that a eastern road, which he kind of motions to this sort of ravine and dirt road path, once we have deemed that it is secure and clear, we will send a runner back who will have you follow with, and from there we will continue on until reaching our dismounting point. From there, we will move in force together, intermixed, to the north, where the reports and our scout plane, courtesy of this very photo, has assured us roughly in that location is what seems to be a small castle structure, or the remnants of one, that seems to be the operational point for this Rainbow Bridge's destination. We will advance on it in secret and low profile, we will observe it from distance, and we will make our judgment call on what to do from there.
I gently pat the kobold on the back, well, gently slap the kobold on the back and say, it could be worse, they could be throwing us out with those newfangled parachutes.
What's the point, my dear
I'll
sir?
take the
Jumping
landing,
out of a
thank you.
perfectly good airplane.
jumping out of an airplane. Ever. No.
I have understood that there is actually very applicable use of parachute-based infantry, and there has been some endeavors to experiment with it.
That's insane.
Last I heard, the communists were throwing people into giant snowbanks, and it was not ending well for them. At least it means less communists.
He blinks a little bit at that information.
Oh. That's very interesting.
True
Well,
fun
that's one
history
way to
point.
rid
That's how they
yourselves.
tried to do the first ever paratroopers.
How the Russians did.
Toss them out of a low-level plane into soft snow, or assumedly soft snow.
Assumedly soft.
The fact they didn't scout, they did just assume.
That is 2 inches of snow on top of rocks. He kind of leans
What's
back
worse,
a little
rocks
bit.
or trees?
Oh god. Well, I mean, they did have an attempt to try to drop them into trees and control descent. He kind of leans back and folds up the binder and kind of looks to you all. Well, unfortunately, we do still have an hour and a half, so perhaps another round? And he kind of jingles the bag of D&D pieces.
Not with your dice.
I hold up my cane to the individual in question and say, you lose my cane against we're going to have to be tossing you out of the airplane.
I didn't really. It was a theoretical exercise. I didn't really lose your cane. You can't be upset about that.
We'll see.
Okay.
Unless you guys would like to talk a bit further, we can do a little time skip to the time of arrival.
Oh, we gonna do this real time, real.
You're welcome to if you'd like to.
I need a drink first.
Judging by the tree lines, the terrain actually looks quite inclement. I'm out of shape.
What we'll do actually is 5-minute piss and drink break. Recover yourselves, grab yourself some drinks, take yourself a piss, do both at the same time, replenish one with the other, however you want to do that.
Let me go get a lozenge.
Get yourself a lozenge.
Yeah, how are you feeling after doing that voice?
That voice isn't too hard if you really think about it. All you gotta do is growl a little bit.
Hey, smooth skin.
Oh god.
Jake Gyllenhaal trying to channel his inner Patrick Swayze and just slapping people. I'm just like, you know,
You ain't
I
ripping
like.
nobody's throat out. Give me a break. Like,
You don't get me wrong. I like Gyllenhaal, but
He's
come
never
on
gonna,
now.
He's never gonna live down his first major role as a gay cowboy. Like,
No, I thought his first major role was what was that West Virginia movie with the Rockets?
Like October Sky.
Yeah, October Sky. I thought that was the first major.
That's
role.
what I always know him by. Whenever I think of him, I'm like, oh yeah, October Sky. I like that movie.
he played the bottom cowboy in Brokeback Mountain.
He wasn't the top, he was the bottom?
He was the bottom cowboy.
Oh. I mean, at least it was the Heath Ledger.
Hey, you know, he's got to go out somehow.
Damn.
just so you know, this is a car I saw. If it did I post the right one?
You can throw it
Yeah, I
in
did.
memes or general.
Okay, I put it in general. Car I saw, it was
B.
Ligma B. Bitch had Ligma balls on the back of his damn car.
God.
The fuck? The fuck is
Yeah,
a
there just
sheet?
are no rules in Virginia.
Yeah, what's a sheets?
We have too much of
Uh,
sheets.
I'm
It's
from Arizona.
Tennessee Circle K.
Oh, wow.
No, it's
think.
it's from like they're from like Pennsylvania.
Ew.
They're actually kind of like Circle K, but Sheets like their main thing is they sell food and they get you to come buy food by making their gas cheap.
Oh, so like Maverick.
Pretty much, yeah. Or
Maybe.
Quick Stop.
And they
or-
actually make the food like it's like
Yeah,
Actually really good.
they actually have like a fast food restaurant.
QT.
Do you go to Buc-ee's?
I go to Buc-ee's.
I sure as hell do. So. Hold on.
Have you seen what they're paying their employees at Buc-ee's?
We got Nikos with us. Nikos, you with us? You good to go?
Yep, I'm ready.
Alright, sweet. Let me pan on over from the intermission music as the airplane comes to a nice, gradual, thankfully smooth landing. And you find yourselves bumping a little bit going across the open field as the plane kind of pilots and rotates itself around so it can take back off. The hatch opening back up, and everybody able to step out and pour out, kind of articulate their gear, double check their equipment, look themselves over, before the lieutenant looks to one of the sergeants and gives a nod as the sergeant and the 5 other riflemen kind of don their overcloaks and start making their way eastward, leaving the 2 pilots and radiomen to kind of sit by and stand security around the plane, with the rest of you standing by with the lieutenant, who kind of gives you a nod and a look before I'll send a runner back as soon as we know the advanced way is clear. Obviously, we are here to escort and protect you, but we do ask that you be careful. You all seem rather capable of what you need to do.
Thanks.
I wouldn't say that, judging by how that game went. I would say it's almost a prelude.
Oh, compliments to the pilot. You know,
Let's try to have a little bit more optimism here, yes?
Have a bit of hope.
The
Look, we
RAF has
survived.
the best pilots.
We survived the landing. 13% of landings in open fields usually result in crashes.
Didn't need to know that, thank you.
That's because 50% of landings going into open fields were crashes to begin with.
Which is why I'm thanking our pilots who have to fly us out of here.
What I'm hearing is our Nicholas never stood a chance, flying or running.
Damn. As the lieutenant gives and kind of bids his adieu with a little kind of begrudging half salute and starts going off and disappears into the rather damp, wet Norwegian northern woods. It's very gray, it's very dark, it's very wet, it's very kind of undergrown.
Moist.
It's
What's the, is it cold? Is it warm? Is it
It is
moderate?
very fucking cold, actually. You're sitting at around, you're sitting at around a pleasant, warm 47 Fahrenheit.
It's just
Oh,
like
that's not bad.
Boston.
Could be worse.
I'm quite
I'm used to the
acclimated to this
cold.
weather.
What was that, Nikos?
I'm used
just-
to the cold.
I just walked by James's room and he's apparently been talking this whole time.
Yeah, I made a mistake. Your mom asked me something, and I forgot to unmute once again. I made a great mistake, and I will find punishment for it in myself.
Damn.
How are you dealing with the cold being, a snake?
To put it lightly, this is very uncomfortable. I am a lizard from southern Louisiana. This is about the worst place to be.
I am a lizard!
No.
I bet you my southern friend here is regretting shedding his skin last month.
Could we get you
I'm
like a
regretting a
long...
whole lot of things right now. Here we long, please save me.
Does anyone have like a really big sock for the snake?
Are you doing, Kobold? Are you also cold-blooded?
No, this is exactly like Boston, except with way more trees and it's sadder, and there's less buildings. Kind of miss buildings.
Alright, I'm gonna take a look around our immediate area.
Alrighty. Feel free to give me a... What are you kind of looking around for? What's the general look? Or just kind of see what wanders, see what...
Seeing what's
pops up?
around.
Give me a perception check.
Were you looking for things?
As you're
It's a
all
good
kind
i-
of
That's a good idea.
as you're all kind of standing around, Pieter kind of turns and starts looking outwards a bit, kind of looking at the tree line of this big opening that you're sitting in, and you realize the sun's already rather cloudy. It's very grayed up here and very muted in tone, but something about these trees, this seems a little bit more muted than it should be, even for Norway. In late winter, the snow's already starting to go away almost entirely, but it seems a little extra gray.
Everything seems a little gray. Sky is grayer than it should be. The grass, it should be green, not gray.
Grass is.
Hmm.
Can I roll perception?
You can.
You know what I mean? It is all like tinged with darkness.
I just figured that was how this place looked.
What is the furthest you have ever been away from Boston?
I can't think of a city adjacent to Boston off the top of my head.
Low key, you've never
Salem.
actually
Salem.
left
Lexington.
Boston proper. You've
Yeah,
maybe been in
never.
a little bit of the countryside outside of it. What,
Yeah.
little bit
That
there?
one school trip to Concord Bridge, and that was it.
Yeah.
Been to Atlantic City. Dear God, rest his soul.
Well, Atlantic City? What?
East Coast City of Sin is what I call it.
Yeah.
With that perception check, Torin, you kind of look and you realize, wow, yeah, maybe it's just New England grass is superior, but it feels a bit more muted here. It feels not as, that would be a good word for it. Everything seems a little more soft.
You're right. Everything's gray.
I'm going to reach down and pull up some of the grass and take a look at it, feel it some.
Give me a nature roll.
You know, if they were summoning a rainbow bridge, I would think it would be more colorful than gray.
I just assume that's what all of Scandinavia look like.
I expected the Rocky Mountains to be a lot more rockier than this. Yeah, John Van Denver's full of shit, man.
Sabine, you sound so masculine all of a sudden.
Give me 1 second. I want to see if I can get this thing to work.
He is using a voice changer.
Does that sound better?
Oh,
my
no.
god.
Jesus Christ.
I fucking recoiled at that. Holy shit.
Ah!
I dare say my cheeks are flushed like I saw a pair of ankles for the first time.
Say rubber
Jesus
baby
Christ,
bunky
put a
buttons.
shirt
I have
on.
no clue what you talk about.
Oh, God.
Oh no. Oh no. I'm conflicted.
Sabine, my dear, what are you doing later? Might we have talk a
Mom, I'm
chance?
scared. Come pick me up.
Hey,
Listen,
when you're
I'm
done-
just letting you know. If you think you can, you're not gonna be able to afford me.
When you're
Oh
done,
my
send me that
God.
voice changer.
Goodness.
Want to see how you're using it. Could come
Gotcha.
in useful for Sunday.
Oh my god.
I
Man,
wouldn't
out of
blame
con-
a Stasi with voice
context.
changers.
As you take
Out
a
of
knee,
context,
Peter.
sounds really bad.
Oh yeah. As you take a knee, Peter, and you kind of
need this
grab
for
some of the
Sunday.
grass and rip it up and kind of feel it in your hand and look at it, it feels fine. It feels hydrated. It feels okay. It just seems a little bit more kind of drooped, a little more. Arguably, it almost seems like there was more substantial heat, maybe. Like a heat wave came through and made everything kind of bend just a little bit. But everything seems healthy and fine, and there just seems to be an overall kind of gray tinge to things, and things that should be a little more prim and pointed are a bit more limp.
It feels sad.
Well, let's not
here.
talk about limp now, honey.
Jesus Christ. I'm gonna recoil every fucking time you say something. I can't.
Your comments are making me uncomfortable.
I I can't wait to go into Arma and that voice changer still
Make
be
them more
active.
uncomfortable if you like.
Oh.
No.
Oh, this is hilarious. I love this. Is fantastic. Oh heck, I can change it to dark mode. Hey, how about that out?
There you go. As you're kind of standing by in what you realize is a bit more dreary and kind of sad looking Norway than what it probably should be. Even at the height of its winter, there's still more brown to things. About a good 10, 15 minutes goes by as you're kind of getting
Hang on,
cozy.
I got one more.
Oh,
for you.
What you got?
I'm going to just kind of pull out my Shashka's hilt, because it should be all shiny and brass.
Yes.
And I want to take a look at it and see how, like, if it looks any different by lighting, or if it's just the trees that are gray.
You look at it, and the general lighting of it seems a bit more muted. Your uniforms, your clothes, even the red on Hachu, or the kind of orange that's a little bit smoother on Torin, is a tad more subdued.
Now I have a question. Is this affecting my hair and everything?
It is affecting your hair too. Your should be brighter purple hair is rather... It's like everything you look at has a quickly applied kind of gray filter over it.
Torin has. I mean, I have a theory. The rainbows are. What am I talking about? The rainbows are taking the light, the color. That magic's a bit out of my expertise, but.
Could that be something I know?
I've seen a lot of magic in my time, but that still sounds rather
That's
odd.
There we go. None of you have really had experience with any magic particularly like this. If it is magical, perhaps it's just Norway being Norway at the end of winter.
Sorry, that was a dumb idea. I'm out of my element.
As you're
I
kind
think
of
I was on that all.
As you're kind of
No, for-
pondering this, one of the commandos with his red beret and kind of two-tone camouflage comes back out of the tree line kind of low, takes a knee and looks to all of you and gives sort of a come here head nod and a thumbs up, and then turns around and starts going back into the bush for you guys to follow.
Is he, like, sneaking?
Not
Or
really
is he
sneaking,
just
he's
kinda-
just staying a little bit lower, kind of keeping a constant, like, head on a swivel type situation.
Alright.
I'll saunter after.
I'll follow.
Alright.
Curiosity.
I'll gesture
wins.
to other people in the party to go first.
Take my cane under my arm.
Rather than fly, I think I'm gonna actually walk.
Alright.
Out of character, though, I gotta say the best part of hearing John's voice with that voice change.
Hang on, you're real quiet, Ren.
Yeah, you're coming through real quiet.
I was sorry, I had it tilted up while I was shoveling food into my mouth. But what I was saying was, I'm gonna tuck my cane under my arm and just kind of amble forward under the trees, smoking my cigar, and just affecting a rather unaffected air, while being as quiet as I possibly can. But out of character, I gotta say that hearing that voice changer and seeing John's picture has not changed one bit. It's just
Kobold notices. Why do you have a cane if you don't need it to?
Yeah, beat me to it.
I do say, sir, are you not from the South? Do you not know that this is normal for a gentleman like myself?
So it's a status symbol.
Oh, absolutely, sir. Every good gentleman wears a hat, has polished shoes, conducts himself in a certain manner, and carries a cane.
Right.
In the Southlands I am from, it is a sword that determines a gentleman.
Well,
Craig,
maybe
Craig.
in your South, but in my South, they just shoot at you. So I don't. Your sword ain't gonna mean a damn thing if you got a damn rifle bullet coming at you.
That is
No,
why he's
I
a
just-
status symbol, yes?
I smile at my white imperialist friend over yonder and say, "Pray that you never need to meet the business end of my cane, sir," and walk on through the trees.
I think he was threatening you.
It's that southern politeness that we do pride ourselves on.
That's
Bless
southern
your heart.
aristocracy, I say in a pale imitation of your accent.
As the party continues onward, you guys begin in sort of a hodgepodge, sort of tactical blob, somewhat casually, but kind of keeping your look outward. As you guys continue on behind the private that's kind of leading the way, and you can see where what seems to be, you pass by, and you see the boots of a person sticking out from under a bush that was kind of pushed over the top of them as you're walking by, and I would like each of you to give me a perception check.
All right.
Ooh, nice. 23.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are only missing. Who are we missing? There's Leroy. 17. All right. Everyone passes. Damn, that's first. As you're all walking, you all kind of see
And the last.
you see the boots sticking out, still attached to a person from underneath a bush that was kind of turned over them to obscure them and hide them. And you're, before the thought really clicks of why are there boots there, all of your gaze kind of rises up, and you see 3 of the other commandos all taking a knee, kind of aiming outwards in a sort of half-ready, weapon half-up posture, kind of pulling general security. And you see, laying down beside them, is 3 large, what you can only describe as bipedal hyenas. Big and ferocious looking, covered in fur and somewhat piecemealed leather armor with spears in hand, or used to be in hand, are currently laying on their side with throat slit and various stab wounds on them, as the commandos are kind of looking to you and giving a nod. As the private looks back, they seem to have a couple roaming patrols. As long as we stay quiet, we should be able to get through, no problem.
I'm gonna place my hand on the kobold's shoulder and tell him to calm down some. Calm down. There's nothing to worry about yet.
Yeah.
Just relax.
Okay.
In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth.
Oh, it's in through the snout. In through the snout.
I'll pew towards dealing with that. I'm gonna go look over at the hyenas and try and figure out what the heck they are.
Alright, give me a investigation.
Investigation.
You step over and it's pretty quick and easy to tell what these are. These are gnolls. Essentially a sort of monstrous bipedal hyena, sort of jackal. They're kind of different based upon the region they come from, but these ones seem to be a more kind of wolf-like hyena, more of a wolf-looking hyena than anything, but they're tall, bipedal, sort of kind of lichen-looking monsters. And these ones are definitely sentient enough that it seems like they were once able to communicate. They can use tools, they wear armor, as is evident by these ones, which have a smattering of leather shoulder pads or breastplate or this or that, but are still utilizing what seem to be spears and short swords. However, it seems they were quickly and, as was evident, very quietly dispatched by these commandos with pretty much ease. Standing up fully, you're looking at about 8 feet tall.
And what? I know that gnolls would be common to this area, or would they be more from somewhere else?
The most traditional area with that investigation that you may know of gnolls would be usually Central and Southern Africa.
Okay.
But it's
What
not
are gnoll-
uncommon for them to be elsewhere.
All right. Interesting. Most gnolls tend to hang out around Africa. I wonder what some are doing up this far north.
I don't know, they may have moved into the summer house for the.
Can I make like a history check to see if I know of anything about them in northern Scandinavia?
You can
Or is
make
that outside my wheelhouse?
You can make a history check. It might be a little difficult, not knowing too much about Scandinavia, but you can.
Well, you said they came from a more southern region, correct?
Yes.
So let me roll a history check as well.
I got a 17 plus 3.
Sweet. And 14. All right. So the two of you kind of jotting your memory, thinking this over. You're like, sure, like, they're not native up here, are they? And through the 14, you don't quite hit the note. You don't quite remember. You've read about gnolls. You know gnolls are present. You know there's a sort of smaller breed of gnoll native to the western United States, somewhat similar looking to coyotes. You know the obvious standard, regular, most comically known gnoll is the sort of hyena variants, which are said to come from hyenas that gain sentience, traditionally in Central and Southern Africa. You never saw any in person, though. You do know there is some European brands of gnoll, but largely should be more Central European than anything. However, Peter, you do remember there is a tale, somewhat older tale, sort of a mythos, of a sort of bipedal wolf-like creature that did exist in some far northern reaches, like deep forests of like Norway and Sweden. Perhaps this might be one of them.
Like beyond the Arctic Circle?
Just short of.
Okay. Fuck. There are old stories of gnoll-like creatures around the Arctic Circle. Where are we compared to the Arctic Circle? Would this be coming south or what?
So, what we'll do is I will pan you over to the world map here. Haha! Welcome to the map of the world. And let me grab the token here, which is a little black circle icon. Let me click it. And let me scroll on up here. And if you'll take a look in Norway, you guys are currently...
Take a look in Norway. We are in Germany.
You are currently right here in this pocket of Norway.
Okay.
So that would be a little bit south of the Arctic Circle, but not by much.
You're a little bit south of the Arctic Circle.
We're a lot of bit south of the Arctic Circle, James.
Identify the Arctic Circle. Thank you very much for judging how cold I am.
Following with the Prives, the other three eventually you see kind of rise up and kind of shadow behind you guys, pulling a rough, sort of looser security now. You end up coming up to, after about a 40-minute walk through the woods, you're starting to notice things seem a bit more wet. A lot more limbs have the occasional drop of water coming off of them. A lot of the bark seems a little more wet, and that sort of gray tone seems to be slowly growing a bit stronger as you guys proceed deeper.
Is it like a post-rain wet, or is it like a swamp wet?
Sort of a swamp wet, like the humidity is increasing, yet it's not actually feeling more wet in the air. Things just seem to be acclimating more moisture to them. But the air itself is still
warmer?
cold. It is not. It is still the same kind of cool temperature.
Sludge.
Does it look a little like sap?
It does not. It is clear and very evidently water.
Now I'm starting to feel right at home now. The trees are starting to sweat. Why are they sweating? It's cold still. I don't understand.
Why are the trees sweating? I don't understand.
Maybe this isn't cold for them. Maybe it's just cold for you.
Maybe someone had been doing push-ups.
I'm doing just fine with me and my scales. And my cold blood.
Do we see him shivering as
Make me a Constitution save, Hachu.
Sure. I gotta bring my thing back up. I closed it. That's Skyrim music?
It's ambient, wet forest music.
I dislike this place.
It was Company of Heroes.
Oh, okay. That's why I recognize it. And a Constitution check, you said?
Constitution save.
Save.
Constitution save? Now we going with the First Amendment, Second Amendment, Third Amendment, what?
He's
Fourth.
doing fine. Maybe it's the.
I think this is a Third Amendment issue, personally.
Maybe it's the very dark coloring he has. Maybe that's attracting what little bit of heat there is. But he seems pretty fine considering all he's wearing is sort of a suit jacket and dress shirt. But yeah, he seems fine for the most part. He's handling the cold pretty well.
Actually, Nicolas Cage.
Pantless in a suit jacket, Nicolas Cage to a T.
I guess
Nicholas Cage. Nicholas Cage.
It's Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage. You're welcome, citizen.
Nicolas Cage.
Jesus Christ. That's gonna throw me off every time. Oh god. Alright, as you guys proceed further into the forest and are continuing through, led by your sort of escort team, you finally come across what seems to be the lieutenant and the one other commando that's with them, as they seem to be at a sort of heavier thicket, looking over just the edge of it, the lieutenant with his binoculars out, and as all of you kind of approach, and you get the general notion that, maybe lower just a little bit, as you kind of gather up with them. And you can see they're looking over sort of some, what may have been berms from rainwater having come through, or just general erosion over time. And looking ahead, I'd like everybody to give me a perception check.
We're on the edge of a forest, right?
You are inside a forest.
Not a forest, a forest.
Any chance I can fly up onto one of the trees?
You definitely could. Let's get the perception
What?
check, and then we'll be able to have you fly around and move as need be. So it's
I was
Unnatural
gonna say,
20.
would that help my perception check? Oh,
perception check, yes. Okay. So that is, let's see, 12, 12, 9, 20, 16, and a 15. So, Peter...
Unnatural 20. That's my +2.
Yeah, it glows green when it's a natural. So, Peter, Leroy, and Sabine, the three of you are able to kind of look up, and Sabine, you're able to hover up a little bit more into a nearby tree and kind of obscure yourself in it, while the rest of you are sort of stacking up along this berm and sort of bush mix. And looking ahead, Torin, Hachu, and Nikos, you don't really see anything in particular. You don't really see exactly what they're looking at or trying to point out. The rest of you, though, look and you see exactly what they're looking at. It's two, you could say, sort of semi-armored, bear pelt-covered riflemen. Just standing by, seem to be idly chatting to each other, their backs slightly turned, as I will now take and move you guys to the map.
Are they men or are they monsters?
They are men. Allow me to reveal what you guys currently see. Bam, on the top of the map. And you see what looks like two guys wearing very sort of Great War era helmets, bear pelts on their shoulders, what
Couple
looks
of
like kind
guys
of a
doing
leather
kinda
armor,
good.
bolt action rifles slung over their shoulder, and they're just kind of idly talking and chatting to each other. And the lieutenant looks back to you all. They're right along our path of movement. We already dropped one patrol. I believe we'll have to take out this one as well.
Slow
There's
down
no
now,
way we can
man.
go around.
Not without moving along the high ground and risking losing our sort of lower presence that we've been blessed by up until this point. Unless you would rather avoid this and perhaps weather a more difficult terrain.
I can try to
If
fall
we-
asleep.
If we do disable them, and I mean we are disabling them and not killing them, wouldn't it behoove us to try and maybe solicit some information first?
If we can do it quietly. You see,
Whatever we.
this forest is very shockingly quiet, and I feel even a single gunshot may let the entire forest know we're here.
I was going to say, whatever we do, we need to do it as silently as possible.
Why does the forest not want us
Shit,
here?
I can fall asleep.
Why are we killing things?
Well, as your friends pointed out, we're not looking to kill them, and as Sabian is also suggesting, she may be able to put them to sleep. Do you feel you could do that?
Depends on their overall vitality. But I think I might.
They do look a
Can you
bit
get
more...
both at the same time?
They do look a bit more
I can
stout.
try a second level.
Do you feel you have the magic to do so? If so, if it does go wrong, we're pulling the side and rear security. It will be up to you to dispatch this patrol.
Just in
I can
case,
either
does anyone
do-
think they can get close enough to hit them with a knife or a club?
Well,
No.
I am a large man, not built for sneaking, so I cannot do it.
I might be able to.
exactly the stealthiest.
My magic may be able to help me in this case, but I am not in possession of a knife or club.
I'm going to, for the moment, hand you my bayonet.
Ah,
And it is a bladed bayonet, Nox.
okay.
The 1901 is a bladed bayonet.
Gotcha.
So,
Well-
We lost out with the sleep.
yeah, so we're what? 35? I saw someone measure feet away from him.
You are a whopping 30 feet away.
Okay, you could get there in one movement. Whoever is going to try and do any sneaking, should that be necessary, should get in position before you try and cast a sleep spell. If you fail, what are the chances they are alerted by it? Sabine.
Let me check. It doesn't say anything about the notice.
DM.
So, with a spell like this, they don't really notice, they won't really feel it. However, if it's one of those ones where it's right on the edge, they'll feel themselves get really tired. And the question is, if these guys aren't at all tired and suddenly feeling themselves getting tired, it would come down to taking that chance if they're familiar with how magic effects feel.
Okay. I'm going to say, have whoever is going to do the kind of quick melee assault get as close as you feel comfortable with. Then Sabine will cast the sleep spell.
You
Does
just have
everyone
to
agree?
stay outside of 20 feet.
All right.
Or
Well,
actually, I can put them on the edge of it.
Alright. So, at this time, here's the fun part with the Roll20. Feel free to click on your token. When you click on it, you'll see a little kind of HUD will pop up around it. You should be able to drag and move your token around. Everybody make sure you can do that.
I can't.
I can't.
You are unable to. Okay. Give me una momento por favor.
like a ping, y'all.
You have to make it so we can edit our own token.
There we go.
Alright, let me get Beta. Let me get
Ah,
Snake. Where is Hachi?
ba-da-da-da-da-da.
Let
Da-da-da.
me get Leroy.
It just move like so. Don't,
Let me
you're not moving
grab
all the way up there.
Torin. And let me
Yeah.
grab Sabine. Pop the
Push.
tokens back where they're at real quick. Give me a moment to do something.
Alright, how are you guys measuring?
So on the left side of the
the-
screen, you see that little tape measure or like ruler looking picture?
Ah, aha.
And it gives you a nice
Alright.
big cool measuring tool.
Measure your tool.
You can also do cones and stuff too,
That too, yeah.
which is really nice.
Those cones are awesome
Didn't
for
used to be
field
able to do
effect.
that.
And, yeah. So, all of you feel free to place yourselves within that smaller area where you're gonna be. Sabine specifically, post yourself where you're gonna be casting your spell from. And, Hachu, feel free to post up where you're gonna try to stand by or sneak up to before acting.
I would say somewhere on like the very edge of the hill where you can close all the way on one turn. So 30 feet? I'm assuming 30 feet for the snake man.
Snake has
Don't
30
know. He's
feet
a snake.
movement.
He might have more movement than 30.
He's got 30.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before I get down there, I'm going to cast invisibility on myself.
Haha. So you see the snake kind of clench his fist for a moment, and you see the edge of sort of that sort of snake smile as he just first all the black scales disappear and go translucent, and then all the red scales go translucent, and he is completely gone.
Wow.
I see why they call him the lizard wizard. He must be half chameleon.
I just sneak up right. I just like go quietly right next to him. It is one reason, and just scoot back away.
Alright, so
You got a little bit of the Louisiana voodoo in that one.
You had no idea.
Now the only question I have is, should I cast it at first or second level?
you're the one with the magic.
You're the one with the magic. That is your call.
Do the one
Wait.
that
I
puts
have
them to
limited
sleep
second
the
level
most.
spells.
They come in levels.
I say.
Yes.
Does that mean her charms come in levels too?
All right. Feel
No,
free
those
to,
come in proficiencies.
feel free to cast your spell. Whew. Alrighty. So let me double check this and make sure I'm getting this correct. That is 5d8. That is 5d8. Okay. Each creature affected by the spell falls unconscious until the spell ends. Must be equal or less than the remaining total for that creature to be affected. So you see a small, sort of pinkish purple, like faint mist kind of reach out, and it gives a tiny little piff about 15 feet behind the pair of these guys. And you see one of them kind of rub the back of his head for a moment, and the other one kind of looks to him and taps his shoulder, and seems to be asking quietly, "What's wrong?" He kind of shakes his head for a moment, rubs his eyes, lets out a yawn, and slaps himself on the cheek once, and they both kind of chuckle at that and go back to whatever their previous conversation was.
Shit.
Do you want to try again, or do we go
Sorry,
in with the cold
seems
steel?
like that wasn't as powerful as I thought.
Right, quick. Are these guys? You said these guys are armed with rifles, right?
Yeah, they got a bolt-action rifle slung over either of their shoulders on their back.
All right. So do we send the lizard in, or do you want to try again?
Can try again a little bit more powerful.
Send it.
Shot over.
Smash, 3 seconds.
Splash out.
28.
28, there we go. Okay, let's see. You see that same shimmer kind of pop up behind for a half second and then dissipate. And you see the one on the left, somewhat leaning against a rock. His eyes close and he flumps over and just falls to his side. The other one in front of him takes a half step back, is rubbing his eyes and yawning uncontrollably, and looking to his friend that just fell asleep and passed out, and squinting his eyes and straining a bit, looks and starts to scan around, unshoulders his rifle, puts the hand to the bolt, and tries to half cock
Go.
it, and is starting to slowly sway side to side, but is not fully falling asleep.
Go, Hatsu.
Look. Gonna go like these rocks I can stand on.
Which
mean,
ones?
rocks
The ones,
just-
the ones next to him?
Just
Oh yeah, you could
these.
pass over them. They're like maybe a foot tall, half a foot tall.
Alright, and he's facing like like
That-
this way
that-
somewhere?
He's looking roughly this direction.
That direction? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm assuming my character sees that because he's not that fucking blind. I hope
Oh yeah,
not,
no,
anyways.
you can see which direction he's looking without needing to perceive that.
Also, the one with the face on him is the one that's asleep.
Yep, the one with the face is the one that fell asleep. The little sleepy-eyed token on the corner.
Alright, well, in that case, I think I have enough movement to go right here. Then, I think.
You would.
Alright.
So you kind of slither on up quietly. Some of the blades of grass underneath you are bending over as you just kind of slither on up, and you find yourself behind the guy.
All right. Do I have to give him the stats of the bayonet?
The bayonet is 1d6 plus strength. Should you want to... That's the damage. To hit is just a dexterity check. You are attacking him from behind and cloaked, so you can do so with advantage. You can cast it twice and take the higher of the two. Or, on the corner of your sheet is the advantage toggle. You can switch it from normal to advantage and then roll.
The inspiration one, or where is it?
The dexterity check to attack with the bayonet.
No, I mean the inspiration toggle.
You might not have it enabled.
Oh, yeah, it might not be enabled. Let me double check and make sure that is enabled for everybody. Ah, there it is. Okay.
Button.
There we go. Advantage toggle for Snake.
Advantage, alright.
And let's see. Advantage toggle for Sabine. Peter. Wow, I thought I did this. Let me fix that. Advantage toggle for Peter.
Mine's already on.
Alright, perfect.
I got mine too.
Sweet. And Leroy's good. Okay, everyone's good. So let me go back to the chat. Feel free to roll me a dexterity check with advantage, Hatsu.
Okay, so does the advantage just automatically apply?
Yep.
It should, yeah.
What you do is you click. See how it says normal? Yep. There you go. And it will roll its advantage. 19.
Damn.
All right. Roll me a d6 plus your strength stat.
Good
so
thing you had that advantage.
/R 1d6 plus whatever your strength stat is.
Of your bonuses.
I'll have to space it, don't I?
No, no spaces.
Oh, well, /R.
Space 1d6.
1d. Okay, that's what I was talking about.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, 1d6
There
with
we-
no spaces in it. Plus whatever your
Alright.
strength stat.
Plus 1, so 4.
Plus 1, so 4 damage. Okay. This guy is about to pass out. He is falling asleep. He is struggling to stay up. As you take the bayonet, give me a rough description. How do you bayonet this dude?
It is a bladed bayonet.
I'm going for his neck.
Aren't all bayonets
Doing kind of
bladed?
the hand over the face,
No, they're
bayonet across
spiked
the
and-
throat type deal.
There's
Yeah.
some bayonets that are spiked. They're just a spike.
Like my
Or
SKS
cruciform.
right next to me.
Yeah, James' SKS one is like that, but my AK bayonet is a blade.
So what you guys see is this guy staggering and kind of swaying a bit, trying to fight sleep, as all of a sudden you just see his throat kind of split open like another mouth before he is yanked backwards and driven into the ground. Let me delete his token while the other dude is slumbering silently. You see, kind of popping out of nowhere, a 2 to 3 drops of blood coming from nothing invisible. You're assuming the invisible bayonet in the snake's hand. As the patrol
Move
is now
forward and maybe
dispatched.
tap next guy.
So, how long does the sleep spell last?
Sleep lasts for.
It lasts for
Let's see.
1 minute.
Yep, so he'll be asleep for another, about 40 seconds.
All right, let's hurry. Get him bound and gagged.
Bound is good. Bound is better than dead.
Make sure to take his rifle away and search him for any bladed weapons. Make sure to check his boots.
Who's gonna do that?
I have some rope on me. So I'll go and tie him
While
up.
he starts tying him up, I'm gonna search him.
Alright.
And I'm gonna take his rifle and I'm just gonna throw it off to the side.
The two of you with the snake kind of lumbering by, kind of crouch walk your way up there.
Hang on.
And,
Oh, what's the kobold's name? I keep forgetting because it's C in game.
look at Discord.
Thorin, do you have a weapon?
Yeah,
What is it?
it's a pistol.
Alright. Who doesn't have a rifle?
Me.
It's like,
Am I the only one with a rifle?
I don't.
say that rifle is a bit large for me. Anyways,
What are they? Long rifles, short rifles?
They're sort of your standard length World War II bolt actions. They're
Short
tall,
rifles?
they're taller than Torin and the Fairy, I can tell you that much.
How tall are they?
Let me double check something here.
I'm gonna go
Well,
hit
the
you with
fairy's
facts
like
and
3
logic
foot.
with my measuring my actual Mauser.
These
Well,
are
I'm only about 40 inches tall.
4 inch tall. These are
You are about the same height as the Mauser.
48.5 inches.
The rifles or them?
The rifles.
Ah. Alright. Yeah.
Which of these go back in the... I'm gonna check that.
You're
Yeah, I'll just search 'em then.
breaking up a little bit, Sabi.
Gotta enunciate with the voice changer.
That requires throat flexing skills he doesn't have.
Enunciate, not deep throating the fucking mic.
Oh god. Dude.
I apologize. I was trying to show it with show it to my wife.
What? Lesbian fairies. Really taken to the meaning of the word fairy.
Me
I don't
passing
believe
my
in
voice.
fairies.
So I'm gonna search the armed guy first, or the sleeping guy first.
Who do you
Is that a perception
pass
check?
the rifle off to first?
I'm just gonna throw it to the side.
Okay. Kind of toss the rifle to the side. Nikos, you start kind of rolling the body over and tying him with some of the rope that you got available. No challenge needed since he's fully passed out. Peter, give me an investigation.
I don't have any buffs on this one. This is not gonna end well. Oh.
Hey, you start looking him
Not bad.
over, you kind of shake the boot a little bit, you're looking, checking his pant legs, checking the pockets, checking his belt and waist. He has like 2 5-round stripper clips in a pouch on his right hip for the rifle, and that's it. Other than his clothing and his gear and his helmet and the bear on his back, that's it. There's nothing on this guy.
No papers, nothing.
No papers.
No food.
No food. No mess tin, no canteen, no field gear.
There's no
No
canteen. That one's
identifying
interesting.
marks.
These are also gnolls?
No, these are regular dudes, humans, in a quasi World War I style armor and gear wearing bear pelts.
Did he? You said he had a bayonet on the rifle earlier. Does he have the scabbard for that?
Nope.
Can we do a perception check for identifying marks?
You can give me an investigation check to see if there is anything that might stick out in particular.
What kind of rifles are these?
These are 9130 Mosinagants, Russian make.
Fucking communist pieces of trash. Hey, that means I share his ammo.
Yep. The investigation check, Leroy. You kind of look them over, trying to see if there's any symbols. You see a very scuffed and subdued English royal crown stamp on the inside of the sort of doughboy helmet that he's wearing that has seen some fucking age and days. But it's very old and subdued, likely surplus. Other
Do
than
I
that,
see it
there is no
Ooh,
symbols
when he's
whatsoever.
looking or no? Or do I see it when I'm searching him or looking or what?
If you were to
Or
look
am I
over,
not?
you might be able to see it, unless it's something I specifically whisper to people. It's something that others will be able to eventually be told or relayed. But yeah, you see him draw particular attention to the very subdued crown stamp on the inside of the helmet.
Looks like they're leftovers from the communists, from the revolution. Lots of Allied equipment was supplied to white forces before they collapsed. I'm gonna take the bayonet off the rifle, and I'm gonna trade it, in a physical sense, trade it to Hatsu for getting my bayonet back.
You get a very long, pointed Mosinagant bayonet. It's kind of a triangular X shape as he takes back his bladed bayonet and holsters it. So feel free to add bayonet to your inventory, Hatsu.
Does anyone want their
Awesome.
rifles?
Mighty kind of you, sir.
I'll take the rifle. I don't have a firearm on me.
Alrighty.
We
I'm gonna search the other guy too. Do you have to roll for that, or is it just gonna be the same as the first guy?
Before that, what's up, Tor?
we should gag him. He wakes up. He's gonna scream when he sees his dead friend.
But didn't we gag him as part of tying him up?
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, cool. Alright, so they put a rope across his mouth and got him. That's
Okay.
good. They probably did it as you were mentioning it, yeah, good.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Good idea.
Hey, 5 seconds left of the sleep spell.
Good idea. We should probably do that. Nikos, add to your inventory Mosinagant, and I will send you the stats for this.
Yeah, can I get the stats for this bayonet?
Can do. Give me uno momento por favor.
That's the Mosin bayonet. Just look up what the number for that
9130.
is.
It's one of the 9130 cruciform ones.
Yeah.
I get the fancy bladed one that the cavalryman likes. Dragoon, bayonet, or whatever. The early pattern ones.
Kobold takes off his bearskin cape / warming thing and like kind of holds it out towards Snake. Eh?
Hatsu?
Oh, sorry, I was looking at looking up a picture of what I was supposed to add. Sorry. My bad. What just happened? Sorry.
He's giving you the bearskin coat thing. Bearskin.
Oh, that's.
The non-bloody one.
This is fantastic. That's great. I just put it on.
They were.
Mighty kind of you.
Do I have to search the other guy too separately, or?
Yep, it'll be a separate search. Feel free to give me that investigation now while they punch in their stats for those items.
Ah.
Oof. You kind of look this guy over. Admittedly, the blood is making it a little bit harder to look over some things, but you pat down his pockets, go a little quicker about this one. Nothing seems to stick out or pop up. However, from the combination of both of them, oh god, what is? Oh, hello, Wendigo sounds. I was like, wait. Feel free
Spoilers.
to add to your rifle. Not spoilers. This part of the song, I forgot it was in there. Add to your rifle ammo inventory, Peter. 20 rounds.
You said it was 10 for both of them, though, right?
10 on both of them, yeah.
And what's his face is also picking up one of the Mosins.
Yeah, he's picking up the Mosin. Nikos is picking up it with 5 rounds in it.
Yeah, so you take 10.
All right.
And then plus the 5. Actually, you take 15. Then I'll take 5 off this guy and the 5 out of his rifle. So that should give me another 10.
So add 10 to your inventory, and then add 5 to your active clip, and 10 more in your ammo reserve, Nikos.
All right.
However
15.
you want to stat that or put that in or use it.
15, because I'm pulling 5 out of the other guy's rifle, because no one's taking it.
Makes sense.
So I'm only taking 1 clip and 5 loose rounds, I guess.
15.
It's okay, I've got that Cossack jacket with the bullet things, like loops that you can stick bullets in, so.
How do I make that read damage type?
Which one are you trying to edit? Oh, I got you. Let me pop this in for you. So, 2, 6.
Oh, and I'm gonna take the bayonet off that guy's rifle and I'm gonna give it to Nikos, so he has a bayonet for his rifle too. After all, no rifle is complete without a bayonet. It's how you finish them off.
Good advice.
Aw.
Well, in our line of work, we're gonna have to get this dirty.
They look like they are being supplied by the Soviets. The Bolsheviks.
They look like
Can't wait to fight a bunch of godless commies.
They look like they're being supplied by everyone.
It explains the grayness of the world here. Communists suck the light out of everything.
I don't think that's okay.
As you're kind of hobbled around, Sabine, if you would give me a perception check, please, from your perched position.
Pretty sure I see most faithful thing.
Let me reveal what you are able to see. As you perch yourself up in that tree, you see a bit of a ruin and fortification sort of in a downslope further to the south. And what you see stomping around in there kind of idly and chill past a lot of these broken down walls, seems to be another pair of riflemen idly walking, and two more of those gnolls kind of chittering and yipping to each other quietly on a somewhat higher landing.
I'm gonna slide back down and let them know what I see.
Fairy comes hovering back over to you.
Looking
I
at
cast magic
the
missile.
looking at the ruins we're around right now, can we kind of determine when this was built, roughly?
Those of you who want to, roll me a history check.
I did.
Damn. Immediately.
Oh!
Man, 20!
Kobold opens his mouth to speak, only to not be able to speak.
Oh.
I know what this is. This is.
Damn, you and Peter tied, and Nico's with a 20. Damn, everybody got this one.
I forgot to turn advantage off. Whoops.
Oops.
17's still good.
You also rolled insight, not history.
Oh, did I press the wrong one?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's insight. You want to do history.
Whoops! I pressed the wrong damn thing. There you go. I got it anyways.
So somehow, all of you guys, for like a split moment, whereas the kobold should kind of be the only one who would really know this, somehow all of you are able to turn, and almost in unison, two of you say 1405, two of you say 1420s, one of you says 1407 in July, and one of you says early 1400s.
In July.
unison.
Am I the one who says 1407 in July?
That'd be between you and Torn, I think, kind of say it at the same time for some reason.
It's like,
How do you? July? I thought August. How do you? Let me see.
Just everybody all of a sudden, I'm judging by the stone and the shape and the angle of it, how it was cut, and looking
This
at that,
kind of
it was cut in
construction
the
is-
summer of 1407.
This kind of construction is common in the Swedish ruins you see throughout Western Russia. It is something I have seen many times when going through walks through the woods.
I see. Look at the sloppy brickwork. You're right. It's they were obviously very uncomfortable when building this structure.
Indeed.
And the history
not
portion
to
of this party
rain
gets
on you
to
a
show.
historical parade, but there are 4 people to the room so south.
Oh,
Looks like 2 more riflemen and 2 gnolls.
Good. Someone we can lecture to about the history of these ruins.
yes. Look at that. Look at that
I
brickwork.
leave.
It's absolutely delightful.
I prefer more marble brick myself, personally, but...
Just standing back talking about bricks while the rest of the party fights. Oh, yes.
Oh yes, brick. So at this point, you will each be able to kind of plan or articulate. How do you guys want to go about this? Way you got your sort of group going here, able to see the edge of this sort of ruins, with the understanding that there's 2 troops and 2 gnolls inside.
I presume this is uphill from us still. We're down at like the bottom
Downhill.
edge of a little. Yeah.
Downhill into a little bit of a recession.
Can we wave one of the lieutenant's men over here to come take possession of the prisoner?
You would be able to do that. 2 of them would come and kind of stack up at the edge of the
Just drag him off.
sort of thing
Oh,
here.
he's
They'll
like,
come and grab him and just kind of drag him. And you'll specifically hear him start to wake up as they drag his ass off around the corner.
First thing he sees is a lizard man
Taking
wearing
off.
his cloak.
Cooking the roses for him.
I said, well,
Howdy.
This oddly non-Norwegian party is standing over him, half of them scaled, and he's just like, ugh. Being drug away by commandos with red berets.
well, see you the next lifetime there, soldier boy.
All right. So is this like the objective that we're going for, or is this more outpost?
Would you like to look to the lieutenant?
Yes.
Alright. You're able to take a few steps
Why we're
back.
trusting a lieutenant with a map, I have no idea.
Good question. Lieutenant Gygax kind of crouch walks his way up with one of the other commandos with him.
Doing the duck walk, they make you do it in maps.
Yeah. And he kind
I
of
finally found a use for it.
You do your Russian Slav squat. He kind of crouch walks up next to you and looks to you. This structure isn't on the map. I'm a bit confused. Then again, they're not the most accurate reconnaissance photos. Maybe we missed some structures scattered about this region. There's no record of a town or castle being here, so it would make sense that we may
It's
have
been
missed
here
it.
since the 1400s.
Has it?
You can tell from the brickwork. Here, Doran will tell you some more details.
So yes,
Torrent
Wait.
speaks until the lieutenant cuts him off.
Look, I know you want to talk to him about the bricks, but we have other concerns at the moment.
why are they guarding it? They can't possibly appreciate the brickwork. There must be something there.
Brickwork is very important.
If there's not
Often
something there,
underappreciated.
maybe it's... Perhaps it's just an outpost? That's why you're all here. If you would... We can encumber a larger, perimeter outside this area. Feel free to work your magic. Investigate, conceal, and
Don't mind if I
do
do.
as you need.
Speaking of magic, I think I have an idea.
Alright. You kind of huddle
Okay.
I have
together
one
and...
still in
present-
particular.
World's weirdest
Um,
football
called
huddle.
Madness. So basically I can charm somebody and he can essentially attack his foes. I mean his friends as they were foes.
I didn't realize we had Hatsune Miku in our party.
How do we even know they're hostile? Other than the fact that we just killed one.
That's a very good question that I can't answer.
Well, I'm going to assume these are the same people as the patrol that attacked the commandos.
Who attacked who first?
The gnolls look similarly dressed. Or undressed.
The other ones had pants on, yes?
Nope.
Well, I mean, they're not wearing
You
shirts.
said they had armor
Just armor. Piecemealed armor.
on. Exclusively wearing greaves, nothing else.
Hot.
Assless chaps.
Stallion female armor.
I better not be wearing the ass chaps. I'll walk out of here right now.
I want the snake to wear a singular chap.
Just the one.
Jesus.
The snake, when he gets dressed for formal occasion, wears pant.
A sock. Toward like, look at this guy, a big old sock.
You know, it's open on the bottom, and then he has like a leather shoe that goes on the very end of his tail. It's all shined up and everything.
Can I like try to like get?
It's just a
look
moccasin.
in there?
We sneaked in.
You want to try to sneak in?
No, not in. No.
I was gonna say, so what we need. Fuck, you fucked my accent up. So we need to
What do we need?
be quiet still, because this is just an outpost. We don't want any gunshots alerting other outposts. If they are smart, and we have no reason not to believe they are, then every outpost, there should be a ring of outposts around their main base, and everyone should be within earshot of the previous ones. So we need to make sure that we take them out quietly and quickly. And if you were to make them mad and take each other, then that would mean gunshots would be exchanged, and we would likely have more soldiers coming down on us very quickly.
Well, if I make him attack the ranged person first, then there's probably less of a chance of a gunshot,
All it takes is one.
and then you'll have to worry about hand-to-hand combat. Or
We're gonna have to do this, aren't we?
I can also try just flying over.
What, just fly over them, see what you can see, or just try and get to the other side?
I don't see us talking our way out of
mean-
this one, gentlemen and ladies.
No.
Well, I could definitely give them a real distraction.
What's that?
So, do we know this is how they're set up?
Yep, you know this is their position.
It might be worth it to... I'm assuming you do not have very much control over who they attack first when they are middened.
Oh, yes, I do.
You do. Then,
I mentally choose who they want to attack.
if we can have one of the gnolls try and attack the first or the leftmost rifleman, while at the same time, or moments before, we have Hatsu shank the other rifleman while he is invisible, then maybe we have chance to get it off without gunshot. Does anyone else have any ability to sneak up?
Don't look at me. Don't look at me, sir. Sneaking is not my forte. Maybe talk to the snake hair, the kobold.
I'm orange.
That is a very good point.
That's such a fair. Such a rant.
Oh, you're orange and
Oh,
short.
great.
They ain't gonna expect something short and orange coming at them.
They will think they are attacked by Mango.
That's not very nice.
Well, at least in the
I-
the fucking.
I could try to talk to one.
I do not think that is a good idea.
I could just make myself invisible again. Don't worry about it.
Does anyone else have any other plans?
I'll get the other one.
No, this sounds like a good idea.
Alright, if things go sideways, as you say, let us get ourselves into a position with which we can defend. Behind that tree stump, with a little bit of spread out. Those of us with rifles should probably ready them. If we hear a gunshot, then it is on.
Like Donkey Kong.
What is this Donkey Kong you speak of? Like movie King Kong? I do not think we'll be rescuing women from giant gorillas.
Tasteless film, really.
Alright, as we go forward, I am going to unsling my rifle and affix my bayonet to it and chamber around
Alright.
quietly.
Oh gosh. Okay.
You're able to get into cover, ready your various weapons, kind of posture and position yourselves. Leroy and Hatu, feel free to post yourselves where you're gonna be posted up here.
All right. Well, I'm a cast invisibility. Yeah.
Why don't you get closer before you do that so you maximize your cast time?
Actually, I don't think I have a cast time for it. Let me double check that fact before I tuck out my ass. But
Well,
How
not
many drink
cast
real quick, one
duration. Probably
Duration-
not going to be worried about.
duration up to 1 hour.
Oh,
yeah.
never
it can-
mind then.
it can
Okay.
keep going
Oh, are
for
you
a
just
while.
still invisible then?
I guess it could be,
He's
yeah.
been invisible this whole time.
Well, no, I lose invisibility when I attack somebody, so.
Okay.
Sneaky
But technically, when I stabbed that guy, I should have become uninvisible. But hey, it wouldn't have been as cool. So I'll leave it. All right, yeah. I'll go invisible again since it lasts a fucking hour.
Alright.
What about you, Mr. Copeland?
I'm gonna position myself under this tree over here, and hope for an ambush. Hope for an ambush angle, cause I don't believe I have the range to engage, nor do I have the finesse for hand-to-hand combat. So I will abide and wait for an opportunity.
Remember not to shoot unless they start shooting first.
I will keep that in mind, sir. I appreciate your advice.
This is a great stump.
I apologize. I got my drinks now.
The kobold's killing me.
This is a nice
The
stump.
kobold is killing you. Meanwhile, we have a drunk fairy in the tree.
I'm not drunk yet.
Well, you know what they say about drunk fairies, sir. They make believers out of non-believers.
They thought they were British homosexuals.
Is it a homosexual joke?
Good.
I thought.
So is this a full wall or is it like?
It is a
couple-
crumbled, broken wall. The tallest part of this entire thing is specifically right here, and it's about 8 feet tall.
So is what's the? Just right click to ping. There we go. Is this like an interior wall, or is that just like a step?
That's just a. So this is sort of a about 1 to 2 foot raised platform that just drops down. There's no actual
Yes.
wall dividing these two.
Okay. And this wall over here is going to be about the same, 2 to 3 feet tall.
Aside from that little archway, which is about a 8 foot tall archway, all the rest of it's 2, 3, 4 feet. Basically, every wall here is half cover. Like you can crouch behind it, or
Question.
This kind of thing amazes me. The
Yeah.
whole arch, it's fall over and stay intact.
Question for myself. You know why? I'm
Truly
asking.
miraculous engineering.
yes.
Do those count as walls?
Oh, you mean the step?
In my context, do those count as walls?
Oh. Actually, yeah, they would.
Okay.
They would count as walls for your context. I see what you're saying. Yeah, they'd
Good
count
enough.
as walls.
Cool.
I have no clue what that means.
Yeah. You're not
It's
supposed to.
short. That's what it means.
Really? Check.
First, I need to draw your attention to the stream really quick. Please bring your attention over here. For some reason, the fairy being drunk brings one thing to mind. Just the fairy when she gets drunk and nefarious.
You burned my house to the ground! My family's dead! What do I do?
Just fucking burn my house to the ground. You fucking kill you. Dude.
I like that.
What am I looking at?
Oh, it was the little animation where that fucking German fairy is dancing in the tree.
I don't. Show me again. I was.
Alright, give me 1 sec.
Do it again. I wasn't looking.
Do it
I wasn't.
again.
When he said stream, I thought there was an actual stream on the map that I missed.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I was looking for that too at first. I was like, oh, a stream? I see no water.
You burned my house!
Oh shit, let me bring up the window that is streaming. Here we go. Just Sabine.
You burned my house to the ground! My family's dead! What do I do?
Just being a fucking benevolent little shit. Alrighty, so as we get here, we are going to enter our very first initiative! Hey! Okay, so for this, everybody will click on their token so the little HUD pops up around it, and then you will click the initiative button, and it will roll your initiative and add it to the tracker.
20, nice.
Which one's the
What was that?
initiative? Oh.
It is at the top center of your screen. Some of you it is
The-
horrible, some of you it is great.
It's at the green one?
As in,
Yeah, the top
No.
center of your character sheet, you click on
oh,
your
of the
token.
character sheet.
Yeah, of the
So you
character
click
sheet.
on the token first, and then you click on the character sheet.
Yep, and
Yep.
you click the physical word initiative. There you go. Yeah. So let's see, it has Nico, Saving, Torin, Peter. We need Leroy and
Hatsu?
Hatsu.
Am I being big
Alright.
retarded?
Open character, and then what again?
Initiative
gonna
on your
click-
character sheet.
Yeah.
It should be
After
right
you
above,
select, so
your
you
hit
select
points.
your token first, and then you roll the initiative.
Oh, right there.
Ooh, okay. And initiative 3.
And the
Damn.
guy who starts the
Yeah,
combat goes last.
Hatsu.
Rough.
Hey, I'm invisible. I know what you're talking about.
Alright, so for this is in case it goes bad. However, because two of you have established what you're going to do before everything else cooks off, I will allow the two of you to cast your various spell or make your movement to do your attempted stealth attack. So,
So I will refrain from casting my spell until he attacks.
alright,
So basically, hold action until he attacks,
sounds good.
and then this is a spell to.
Gotcha. And Hatsu, how do you advance on this guy? Turn order hasn't occurred just yet. This is in case it goes bad. However, how are you going to advance on this guy? What are you going to do?
Well, I'm gonna get up to this wall and kind of like crouch at it.
While being invisible?
Yeah,
Alright,
I'm set. I casted invisibility before this started, so
gotcha.
You're not
hey,
just gonna T-pose invisibly behind him.
just T-pose
Not
like a
yet.
fucking statue across the
T-pose
field.
behind him, just breathing on the back of his neck.
So you slither your way across, you kind of crouch over at the half wall, peeking over it. Dude's just kind of idly standing there, kicking one of the rocks, seeming kind of bored. Got a bolt-action rifle
In
slung
the
over his
rocks
shoulder.
in the hot sun. Well, it's not really hot, is it?
Actually, let me go first because he can't. He has to use action before he moves. He missed.
What you two are doing is happening outside of turn order.
Okay. You guys trying to time it simultaneously? Or what?
good question.
Tell us what
My
you're
idea
doing,
is I'm
Snake.
gonna go like here and then down around him like that.
I did not see that. If you want to move your
Yeah, we don't
tokens,
see
Oh,
nice.
so I just picked it up and like I haven't. I'm gonna go like that,
I was just pointing at the screen.
and then that, and then that.
Okay, so you're gonna kind of slink around them and get behind them.
Yeah.
Alright. You don't even have to roll a stealth for this one because you're just scooting around him and there's nothing apparently that can be kicked around in this instance. So you're able to slink around and get up behind him. And Sabian, you're just kind of standing by for him to make his attack,
Well,
correct?
I have a question.
Yes.
Looking at the way the spell's worded, it says the target can act normally on its turn if you can choose no creature, or if none are within its reach. So it doesn't move, it only attacks. So do they have a reach attack or no?
It does not.
Okay, so that actually changes that a bit. Let me check this one.
Blindness.
Hang on, I do have a quick question. This is a bit out there, but because you said when we first encountered that first guy, he tried to bolt his rifle, right?
Yes.
So they're not running empty chambers. So when if the rifleman were to get inflicted with madness, would he try and like stab with his bayonet, or would he try and bolt his rifle and shoot? Or is that like a flip of the coin thing?
That's kind of a flip of the coin and fun part of firearms, isn't it? So
But it does say he'll. I was thinking about that too. So he would basically try to shoot him in the back. Is it a turned chamber round? I mean, an action?
Nope. You can chamber, reload, and fire in a single turn, or as an action. The only thing is when you're fully reloading, like multiple rounds, or your magazine, or your stripper clip, that's what takes an action, once you fully run out.
You can bolt the gun
Okay.
without an action as an incidental. Isn't that what those are called?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna slowly change and go for him.
Okay. And you're gonna hit him with blindness?
No, my hand was Crown of Madness.
Oh, Crown of Madness. Okay. Up to 1 minute, humanoid choice you can see within range. Wisdom saving
But tell me
throw.
loud.
Let me do a wisdom saving throw for this guy.
I've never seen anyone die before. This is going to leave me with trauma, surely.
No.
You've already seen someone die. That one guy we stabbed.
It's gonna hit harder the second time.
He
I mean-
has failed.
Okay. I mentally tell him to attack the front right.
Okay.
No.
The rifleman you're pointing at?
Yeah. He starts to
Yes.
unsling his rifle slowly. His eyes seem a bit reddened and angry as he kind of shoulders the rifle, quickly cocks the action, aims in, and is starting to level at the knoll as it's kind of sniffing the air, and then looks to the side and lets out a little bit of a kind of chitter and confusion, wondering, why are you aiming at me? Hatsu, feel free to make me your attack. You get advantage
All
on
right.
this because it is surprised and you are behind him.
Okay. Once I remember how to do it, it is that. Oh, and I get a roll advantage dice, don't I? Fuck.
You rolled the damage. No, you want to click on the word to roll the attack.
Oh, the +3 one. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
You want to roll the attack to
And-
see if you hit first. There we go. Okay. Okay, that does hit. Now you can click on the words.
Oh, can't we go with the 5 piercing?
The damage.
I do the damage type, that part.
Nope, you
Damage
don't,
slash type.
you don't type that
Oh,
part up.
I-
There you go.
Above.
Yeah, you click the actual word. See where it's in purple on the result of the roll?
Oh, right there.
Yeah, you click that and it gives you the damage.
So it's 2 plus 3 then? Ah.
Nope.
Okay.
It automatically calculates all the stats for you.
What are we going with? The 2 or the 5?
We're gonna go with the 2.
Rip.
So you kind of come up behind him and you take the bayonet and you kind of wedge it up.
I've got heartaches by the number, a love that I can't win. But the day that I stop counting, that's the day my world will end.
Under his right arm, up into his torso, as he lets out a yell, and you try to kind of grab at him as he's starting to twist around, wondering what the hell just stabbed him, why he's bleeding and in pain, as the bayonet comes back out. And you just see him kind of panically yelling out, breathing heavy, holding his side, wondering what the fuck just happened, trying to slowly unsling his rifle. The Crown of Madness goes off as he levels the rifle at the knoll, who lets out a little chitter back towards him, and a loud, just nice rifled crack sounds out as he fires a shot, catching the knoll dead center of the chest.
Oh
as the knoll crumples backwards, hits the stonework behind it, and flops forward lifeless. As we now enter combat initiative.
That wasn't supposed to happen, was it?
Things never go according to plan.
Having made an attack also, a large snake is manifesting in front of this panicking guy. You are visible yet again.
Does that still give him advantage because now the guy just had a large snake wearing a bearskin manifest directly in front of him?
It could be used on intimidation when it comes to his turn. However, the first one in this turn order is Leroy.
I just chew on my cigar that's been unlit for the last couple of hours and observe the action from under the tree. It's my duty to not get involved in my own self-preservation and comfort of my own skin. I shall remain back and observe.
Shit, I should be hiding under your tree.
It's the observer's tree. All
You
right.
think they're gonna win? What do you think?
Leroy passes his turn. Nikos, you are up.
Alright.
Show him what that hoplite do, baby.
Uh-huh. Let's see, he's 75. I am going to hit him with an Eldritch Blast.
Ah, okay.
The guy that
Got stabbed
Snake
by
is
the
by?
snake. Yep.
Yeah,
okay,
I got stabbed by whatever the snake man's name is, I can't remember right now.
Hatsu.
Hatsu, that's it, yep.
Was it Hatsu or Hachu?
Change your names, you peasants.
Hatsu.
Hatsuharu.
Hachu.
Hatsuharu.
Hatshu Johnson.
Hachu.
Horseshit.
I assume a 20 hits him.
A 20 definitely hits him. Give me that damage.
Oh, only 2. Damn. That's
So this guy
disappointing.
gets stuck in the right lung by a bayonet and is like, panicking as a snake manifests in front of him. Only for his right side shoulder again to get clapped by a sort of watery cold blast of energy that sails out from our hoplite here and smacks him in the side. Just, fuck, wondering what the hell's going on.
And then, that's all.
Alrighty. We now get to this dude who is gonna level his rifle from the hip at the snake and fire a shot at you. It's gonna be at disadvantage, Hatsu. So that is a... Does a 12 hit?
Does 12 beat your armor class?
So to find your armor class, or if it hits you, you want to look at the little shield on your character sheet in the top center. And under AC, it'll have a hard number there based upon your armor and stats. So what is your AC, Hatsu?
As opposed to a soft number.
I have armor class of 11.
Ooh, so that does in fact hit. Alright, let me roll damage. Oh god. No. For fairness, I'm gonna make damage rolls visible for you guys. Whew. You take 10 damage as he just from the hip pumps around to the Mosin into your gut, almost point blank, just turns in a panic and bah! Fires a shot at you. And then bonus action, in the panic and in the pain and not knowing what the fuck's going on at this giant black and red snake in front of him, he's going to bonus action lunge at you with the bayonet and try to stab you. Oh, that's a 3. He lunges at you and clearly misses in his panic and is going to just kind of level off with you, rifle at his side, bayonet pointed towards you. So we go to the next guy's turn. This guy, still enraged and angry now that he's killed that Knoll. Does the spell still last on him? Crown of Madness saving.
So because he has no, well, so there's the thing. I haven't, let me see. Says the charged target must use its action before moving on each of its turns to make it. Oh, I messed up. It's supposed to be a melee attack.
Well, he shot him, so.
You read that wrong. Because melee with a bullet.
Yeah, melee with a bullet. He punched him from distance.
Shot him.
Should have been a
Well,
bayonet.
So at the
Your
end of
little-
his turn, he can make a wisdom saving throw to end the spell.
Okay. Let me see if he can beat that.
Well, I can mentally choose who he attacks.
Does a 7 pass?
No.
Alright, so who is his next target?
The other no.
Alrighty. So he kind of tries to shake it and look around and fucking shit, and sees the knoll. Cocks the bolt really quick and kind of half shoulders it and aims up. And we're gonna consider Crown of Madness if you want to reword that to both ranged and melee weapons.
Okay.
Because with a campaign as involved in both range and melee as this one, I feel like it should apply to both. Let's see.
I like the hammer away.
Wow. Yeah, he misses wild. Cool. Actually, you know what? He might not just miss. Let's see what the D6 says. D6 says he gets fucked. Cocks the bolt, aim forward, and in typical Russian Moznagot fashion, you get that nice loud tink as he starts fumbling with the bolt again, ejecting the casing that didn't go off. That passes his
Stupid
turn.
communists can't even make rifles properly. Not even with such a simple design as Mosin-Nagant. Bah!
Sabi, you are
How
up.
do you,
It's funny because that's happened to us.
how do you
Yeah.
even misfire a mouse?
Bad ammo.
He's probably not even ammo, his probably firing pin was broken from factory.
I rolled a nat 1, I rolled a d6 to see the extent of the failure. It was a 1, so it just fucking tink. Oh, shit.
Thank goodness for
I moved to that part of the tree. And I have to use my action to keep the spell going.
Okay. Is that all you're gonna do?
So, oh, and then I'll, let me see how close Snake Boy is.
He is 5 feet away. Or 75 from you.
Nope. Can't do Bardic Inspiration on him because he's within the... or outside of 60 feet.
Alright.
So, Hopblade Dude. Bonus action, you get Inspiration Dice.
Oh,
You can
sweet.
add a d6
Thank
to any
you.
saving throw or attack.
Hell yeah. A little bit of fairy tree inspiration.
And I'm down 2 and no, just 1 inspiration.
Okay. As we're now past to the Cossack. Behind the large stump with the kobold.
Snake's in trouble.
Alright. Let's see. Instantaneous, a creature of your choice that you can see within range. You said this area was the highest part of the wall?
Yeah. That one chunk of the wall there is the tallest part.
Alright,
It's
I'm
about
gonna
8
do something stupid. Alright, I'm gonna rush over to this little section of the wall, the edge of the highest part, so I can get a line of sight. Ha ha! So I can get line of sight on Hatsu.
Okay.
And I am going to shout a word I don't have time to look up in Russian right now. And I'm going to cast Healing Word on him. And how do I go about doing that on here? Is
So you go
core?
to your spells and you'll click the spell.
Okay, just click the spell.
Yep, just click the spell itself.
I cast it at level 9. Level 1 should be good for now.
Huge means heal in Russian.
Yeah, I could not understand that.
Lichit means heal in Russian.
Me
Hey!
Lit-
Okay.
Lichit.
Hey! Hatsu, you get 7 health back as the power of the Russian Orthodox Church manifests around you for a moment and you heal most of that bullet wound. So add 7 health back to your current health number,
bullet
which should
just
be...
Pops out of the
much.
wound.
What was your health at after that rifle attack?
You told me it did 10 damage, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I was at 6.
Whew, so yeah, you get 7 health back from that healing. So add 7 to 6.
Alright, yeah, we're good. Back to 13.
Alright, so then I write in that slots
Yes,
remaining.
machine.
I have 3 slots remaining?
Yep.
Level 1.
Soviet anthem starts playing. No, нет.
No, нет, sucker!
What else you got? Trico?
Doesn't that constitute... Is there anything else I can do for this turn? Because my action would be casting the spell, right?
Yep, that would be your action. You still have a bonus action, having used your movement. You do have a bonus action.
What can I do with that?
Offhand pistol attacks without your modifier added to it, or a bonus action spell if you have any spells that are cast with the bonus action.
I don't think I do, and I don't think I have any that I want to cast at the moment anyway.
Alright. So that will be your turn. You kind of Cossack hustle over the wall, reach a hand over, and heal the snake with the power of the orthodoxy. As we now get to this guy. Noel is going to make a charisma save. He fails. Noel raises battle axe of crude iron, takes 10 heavy, quick feet forward, runs over to this dude. That's a nat 20. Okay. Doing a memento.
Splits
for
him in
favor.
half.
Let's see what the... Wow, okay. So, let's double this. Okay, 12 Noel is angry that friend who he thought was friend tried to just shoot him. Steps over quickly, raises axe up in both hands and drops it down onto this dude's shoulder, dropping him to a knee, nearly killing him and crumpling him for 12 damage. As he yells out in pain, the Noel's snarling out in betrayal and sadness, driving this axe into this dude that he doesn't understand why he just tried to shoot him. The main man, Torin. Torin, it's your turn. What you doing?
Snake in trouble.
He is indeed.
Snake got shot.
Your wizard is on the front line, behind enemy lines.
Wait a minute. Alright, we're gonna run to that square. You gotta remember that square. Very important square.
Square
Right
is
here.
even with...
Yeah, but what's that range, huh? How far do you reckon I could throw a rock?
What is your strength modifier? Like the large number, not the double digit, but the single digit on your strength.
1.
You can throw a rock accurately 15 feet. Anything beyond that will be at disadvantage.
You can't make a pistol shot from 40 feet?
I could.
Does he want to?
Shoot him!
What? You? Okay. As Kobol's picking up the rock, you shot that?
Yes.
But I
Shoot him!
If you would like, both of you can roll a charisma on Torin's end and a intimidation on Peter's end.
Intimidate. Oh man, why can't it be persuasion?
Are you persuading him or are you telling him? Are you giving like
Shoot him!
you
It's
should
the
shoot
only
him,
way to
bud?
save him!
Okay, that sounds
There
like
you go.
persuasion to me.
That is persuasion. There you go.
What do you want me to roll?
Charisma save.
Well, it's intimidation, but the Russian persuasion.
Oh God.
This is entirely
We have a
based up to
riddle.
the role play of Torin. Does
The
he
match
respond
is a
to
draw.
Short circuiting Kobold noises.
this? Short-circuiting Kobold. Yeah, this is entirely... Wow, I didn't think... Yeah, it's fine. You're 50-50
Pull the
split.
trigger!
Do what you want with your character at this point, man. He feels inclined to do neither and both.
Shoot the Imperialist. It'll be in the interest of Yosef Stalin.
Alright, what's the range?
Oh, like a damn bird squawking.
Just cobalt.
How do I do this again?
So you click on the word for the pistol itself,
Alright. Okay.
and it will roll to see if it hits. He aims shakily with a little 25 ACP kind of
No,
pocket
I-
pistol, vest pistol, the 1908 pocket pistol in his little cobalt hands. Over squeezes with his right finger with a heavy trigger pull, kind of squinting. Snake, you hear a, and the rock face to your right gives a little pit.
It was worth a shot.
A little high.
Shit!
You have a bonus action. What would you like to do, buddy?
I have any bonus actions.
I'm going to wave him over to
Rise
the wall
deeply.
after he takes his shot.
He's moved his full movement, so he can't move.
Oh, is that his?
anymore.
Is that his full movement?
That is his full
It
movement.
was over here. I thought he had, or does he have less than 30?
He's got 30. He was one
Oh,
more
well.
space to the left of that. He moved 30 feet.
Oh.
As a
Okay.
bonus action, you can make an offhand. So if you want to try to take another pistol shot minus your modifier.
Yes.
Alright. So you'll aim it again and try to focus. Take
Wait,
the
what's
shot.
What's the minus the modifier?
So
Shoot the
this is
snake, shoot
based
the
off of
snake.
your dexterity plus your proficiency modifier, which is a 2. This will be a pistol attack minus your proficiency modifier,
Or minus the 4.
minus the 2.
Oh, okay.
So fire again.
Oh.
A 16.
Is that one? I hope that.
Roll damage. Click on a Colt 1908 pocket on the result on the right.
2.
2 damage. This guy takes a 25 ACP at its effective range, and now has a third hole in him as a little 25 ACP catches him in the shoulder, and he grunts out, looking at what the fuck that was for a moment, not able to see where it came from, focusing back on the snake. This guy is getting pincushioned to death.
You see, it goes in, it bounces around, 100% death round. Yes.
Warren, make me a charisma save.
Charisma. Oh.
You're not handling very well, having just actively shot somebody, and you see the result of their shoulder bleeding from that little shot.
He fades
All right, I'm going to look at him and I'm gonna give him a thumbs up and say, "Good shot! You distracted him."
Encouragement.
This
Laughing so
guy's
hard.
really hating his right side.
Literally collapses to the ground, holding his face. Friggin' no trigger discipline. Freaking gun pointed in the air.
He's not having a good time. And the final turn on this turn order, Hatsu. This guy's gonna be getting Eldritch Blast and pistol shot in front of you. What do you do, bud?
Stab him again.
Stab him. I'm gonna melt his fucking face off.
Oh. What do you got?
Fireball.
Poison spray right in his fucking face.
Cast it for me. Hey,
Damn it.
alright. For 8 poison damage, let me make a con save. That's a failure. He'll take the full 8 damage. 19. God, you guys are pincushioning him to death. Now down to below, to about a third of his health. This guy who has been Eldritch Blasted, shot by small arms, stabbed by a bayonet in the opposite lung. Suddenly, the snake opens his mouth
snake-
as
the
magic
snake-
manifests and acid splashes over him. The little holes in the front of his helmet start to form. His face starts to partially melt. His uniform is sagging as he has basically gotten Corporal Hicks from Aliens when they fucking shotgun blast the alien at point blank, and is starting to yell out in pain as parts of him are starting to, like, basically white phosphorus on him from this acid spray over him. As we hit the top of the turn order, and we will end our first session there for the day. As we
Not
will
only that,
resume this combat next session
Next week.
Thank you again, everybody.
was fun.